everybody. Welcome back to Popping the Popcorn. I'm your host, Katie. And today I have a really special guest. I have Gory B Movie. How you doing, Gory?
Marry me, weirdos! I'm great.
That's good. I'm happy to have you on.
I'm happy to be here. It's always fun to be on a show that you watch and that you're a fan of. It's like, look at this. Hanging out and popping the popcorn.
Right, exactly, right? My channel, I tell everybody, my channel is the fun channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't just do horror. I mean, like, I do like horror movies, but I do a little bit of everything. So I think it's a lot more fun that way. You know.
I dig it.
You know, maybe I'll make a horror channel. Who knows? Who knows? I have 3 other channels, so we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, I have one channel that I did from New York to Florida, and then I have another channel that's just uplifting people because that's what I like to do best.
I dig it.
So tonight's topic is vampires and werewolves. So we'll be talking about our favorite vampires, our favorite werewolf movies, and just have a good time. And you guys in the chat can follow along with us. Let's see who's all in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Lynette. How are you? She's saying she's team vampires.
I think it depends on the vampire.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Strange Monkey. Look, there
goes vampire.
Strange Monkey, I love him.
We're doing weekly. We do fight night on Sundays on my channel where we pit different horror characters against each other and we talk about their strengths and weaknesses and everyone gets to vote on who wins. And I know Patrick is really looking forward to our vampire battle royal, which is coming up. But this Sunday will be slashers.
Oh, nice! It'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it. Hi, Zeegman.
That's my brother, Zigma.
Oh, Zigma. Sorry. I'm really bad at pronouncing names, so I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong.
He's an alien. He doesn't get offended.
Can't wait. Saying hi to you. I don't know.
That's my brother too.
Oh, he has 2 different channels?
Yeah, he started one for his Mustang channel.
Oh, nice. Hi, Danny.
I married that dude.
How are you? And then there goes Danny again.
I know. My husband and my brother are very awesome and supportive.
Thank you, guys. Patrick's saying old vampire dude.
Yeah, he's the one he's rooting for in the vampire battle royal. That's why I was like, hashtag old dude vampire.
Oh, okay. Hi, Angel.
Hey, thanks. Ooh, I like your Fiend picture. The Fiend is one of my favorites. And Danhausen. Very nice. Very evil.
I have not seen that. Is it
wrestling.
Is it a video?
Danhausen's over on AEW. Which we watch a lot of AEW right now, but the Fiend was over on WWE. Really cool character. It's a bummer that he's not around anymore.
Oh, okay, nice.
Cool, like Mr. Rogers thing, but then it would turn into the Fiend, which was like the one that would like punish.
Gotcha. Cool. I only know the old wrestling. I haven't watched any of the new wrestling stuff.
It's honestly just because my husband's a wrestler and he watches wrestling all the time. So now I kind of by osmosis know a lot about wrestling.
Gotcha. I just know like the old ones. Like I used to like Jeff Hardy and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's still around.
Yeah. And I used to like The Rock, you know.
Yeah. I like what he's cooking.
Me too. Hi, Carrie. How are you?
Hey, Carrie, what's up?
She gave me a new name. She calls me Katie Pop now. K-pop.
I like it.
She gave me that nickname. And then my other friend gave me that nickname too. Dustman is the man. Yeah.
Danhausen. Very nice. Very evil.
Mm-hmm.
Curse.
The Hardy Boys. I know. It reminds me of the book, the way that their name's spelled. The Hardy Boys, the book.
Yeah.
You know. So, all right, guys. So let me know in the chat if you guys are team vampires or team werewolves. And we're just going to talk about different genres of those, and we'll see where the night leads us to.
Danny says, if you smell what the popcorn's popping.
Thank you, Danny. I gave Gory a nickname because she's like Cardi B. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hey, Jason.
Welcome. Welcome, everybody.
How's the family?
And then everybody can connect with everybody in the chat. So if you're a mod, you can link people's chat so that way everybody can connect with everybody. That's the way I do it in my live streams.
My mommy's in the chat. Please say hi to my mommy. Mommy B Movie.
Hi, Mommy.
My mommy. She found me beneath a gooseberry bush so many years ago, like 40 years ago, and we're super close, and she's a mummy, and I love her.
Hi, Mommy. Hi, Mommy B. How are you?
Mummy.
Teen Wolf. So Jason's Teen Wolf.
I have something exciting to tell you.
What's that?
Not only did you get, a fellow movie aficionado on your channel, you got somebody who is from the home of sparkly vampires. Oh, that's right. I am from Washington State, and I have been to Forks, which is bizarre. It's a town transformed by fiction. That's where the Twilight books are set. So everything up there is like a Bella Burger when you go into a restaurant, or Bella Band-Aids, or there's whole stores on just selling Twilight clothing. There's Twilight lookalike people who walk around. There's like a Twilight tour. It's insane.
That's crazy.
We got Sasquatch, we got Samara, we got sparkly vampires in Washington State.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. My older brother, before he passed away, he lived there. He lived in Bellevue with my sister-in-law.
Oh, very, very cool. My work is based out of there in Microsoft, and we have some family up there.
That's nice. That's awesome. So I always wanted to go like visit it because I used to be big into Twilight when I was like a teenager and stuff.
I love Twilight.
I think the last movie came out when I was like in my 20s, I think, somewhere around there, early 20s. And so I used to be more team Jacob more than team Edward, just because I don't know, I just didn't like Robert Pattinson too much, I guess, at the time. I don't know what it was, but
I never felt like I think especially you need to read the books, because a lot of the things in the movies I didn't like, it's because they were played for laughs in the book. Like the whole scene where she's like, "You're a vampire." They're in a car. The whole scene is not in outside. It's not super dramatic. They're in a car, and it's a little more lighthearted. A lot of their really lighthearted interactions, like she has to like prick her finger for like to drop blood into a slate for her science class, and she passes out, and he's like trying to stay away from her, but he just thinks she's so hopeless, and he sees her being dragged unconscious to the nurse's office, and he's just like, what the fuck? Like, it's so cute. When you read the book, you see why they really like each other. I don't think you get that from the movies as much. So I was always team Edward.
I agree with you. I read all the books too, and I agree with you. The books are totally different. I think I might do that for my channel, because I was gonna do Harry Potter. Maybe I'll do Twilight as well. Read the book and then compare it to the movie.
You want to like do a book versus movie stream in the Twilight?
Yeah, we could do that.
Hit a girl up, yo, Washington.
Yeah, we can do that. And Angel's asking, did you do a tour?
That was before I did YouTube, but I have a ton of pictures. Maybe I'll throw some of those up on Instagram. But I've gone up there twice. Once with a couple of friends where we did the whole Twilight thing. We went to Port Angeles. We had dinner where they have dinner on their date. And then we went up to Forks, and then we went to La Push, and it was just a thing with a bunch of girlfriends. We stayed at a bed and breakfast where it was all Twilight. Another time, I took my family up there mostly to go see the Hoh Rainforest, which is gorgeous. But I did take my son and my husband to see some of the stuff up there. And we stayed in the only hotel available was this Twilight one. They're like, do you mind paying a little extra for the Twilight one? I'm like, we just need a room. But yeah, my son was mortified. Like, there's Edward on the light switch, Edward on the towels, Edward on the bed sheets, but the bed was super comfortable. Like, it was nice. It was really nice. But
I'll have to go check it out. So if I go up there, I'll hit you up and be like, you want to come meet me? Let's go.
Hey, you have a friend in Washington. If you need someone to take you up there and be your, buddy or tour guide, this girl.
I will, definitely. That would be fun. Jason saying he likes the first Twilight. Yeah, I like the first one because everybody knows on my channel I'm not really a sequel or a prequel person. I'm more for the original. Team Werewolf. Your mummy's Team Werewolf.
She loves American Werewolf London, which was one of my very first movies I ever saw. I was born in 1981, the year that came out. Yes, I am really fucking old. That's the 1900s, y'all. Anyway, so like it was a big deal. My parents saw it. I think my parents saw it at the theater, and then it was a big deal when it came on television, because back in the day, like, rental stores were not like a big thing and stuff yet. And I lived on a military base. So yeah, it came on TV, and that was one of the first ones like my mom like sat down and watched with me, which is one of the ones I brought here today. I brought you a whole bunch of movies. I don't know if we're gonna have time for them all, but this one I would say, in my opinion, not just because of my connection to it, but I would say this is the best werewolf movie of all time. And I'm so surprised because I talked to a lot of horror fans and even, bigger channels like Ryan Hollinger and stuff. Like, I'm surprised when people are like, I haven't seen this. And I'm like, what? Really? That is the best werewolf movie of all time. It perfectly combines comedy with drama. There's a little bit of romance. You got like the whole package deal in this movie. And on top of that, it is genuinely scary. There's some really good scares in it.
I agree with you.
We watched this when we were kids, and I think it also helped that I am British American, so it was like we love the part where he wakes up in a zoo naked, and the little British boy is like, "Mommy, a naked American stole my balloons." Like, we used to quote that all the time. But yeah, I mean, being British American, you never feel fully British, you never feel fully American. And I think this movie, for that reason, also connected me. It's also the shirt I'm wearing today that my mommy got me, because my mommy's
nice.
The best mommy.
I really love the special effects in that movie for that time, because back then they didn't have anything, so they had used visual effects, and they didn't have like screen or any of this technology CGI that we have nowadays. And that one's just like a fun like movie, especially how they did the wolf and everything.
Yeah, Rick Baker did this, and it was groundbreaking. Like, as my mommy said in the chat, it was a big deal. He effectively used like a lot of special effects, like makeup and bladder things. Before that, like if you watch the old Wolfman, they would do the makeup in stages, and you'd see it kind of morph between them. That's how they would do it. But 1981 was a big year for werewolves, because not only did we get an American Wolf in London, we also that same year got The Howling. And I would say
I have not seen that one.
Oh, you really should. These two movies have the best werewolves special effects of any movie. The only TV show I think that can rival is maybe Hemlock Grove. But these two, both 1981, that was the year of the werewolf, if you ask me. Incredible, incredible special effects. But I still think for the story and how invested you get in the characters, and how it's a tribute to the old Wolfman, but it's still something that was very modern at the time. It's very British, which I love, but I think it's also something that anybody from anybody who's ever traveled to a foreign country, or even just traveled with a friend, can relate to. It's an incredible film.
Yes, it is. Jason, you're not that old. Stop it.
That's only 10 years older than me.
Gory B, why do you look timeless when you say you're one age, but you look so much younger than that?
Because I'm a witch. Thank you, Carrie. You're very sweet.
Yeah, I always tell you you look beautiful every day.
I appreciate that so much. Being somebody who always considered themselves kind of an ugly duckling, I definitely do appreciate it.
You're not an ugly duckling. Yeah, your mom saying American Wolf in London was groundbreaking. Yes, it was.
Absolutely. And my mommy's a big fan of this one. We both, she got this for my brother this year, and I got this. But yeah, this is one I remember watching from like a really young age. And it's just incredible. I want to tell you a little about The Howling, because I'm surprised you haven't seen this one. I don't think it's as good, but for some people this is better, and I absolutely respect that opinion. So one of the things I love about this movie, it has Dee Wallace, who is probably one of my favorite actresses of all time. I've had the pleasure of meeting her. I was so intimidated to meet her, and she was so sweet. She was like, "Oh, give me a hug." I'm like, I almost started crying. I just love her so much. As a mom, Cujo helped me a lot with having, those days where you feel like everything's stacked against you, and you're not the best mom because you snap at your kid or something. But Cujo, like, I don't know, she was like a hero. Anyway, I love her, and she's in so many other things. But I'm getting off track. So this was based on a book. This is a Joe Dante film, and it's a really good story, which I feel like a lot of movies these days neglect story. And this one, you can tell it's a book. It's a great story. So this woman is like a reporter, Dee Wallace, and she hears about like this like commune area, because there's this guy who's been kind of stalking her, this guy Eddie. Well, her and her boyfriend or husband, I can't remember which one, but they go out there and it seems almost kind of like a hippie-ash thing. But then she finds out Eddie is a fucking werewolf, and the bladder effects are when they use the air to make it like bubble. When Eddie's transformation is incredible. But yeah, she finds out that there are a pack of werewolves who like kind of live out in the woods, have their own like community. And basically she, as a reporter, tries to like kind of infiltrate and then expose them. Some of the effects towards the end there, she does. I don't want to spoil it, but there's some werewolf transformation at the very end that looks more kitten than a werewolf, but it's adorable. But definitely, if you love special effects, you love practical effects. I think in the 80s it was like a magic trick.
I love 80s practical effects, 70s practical effects. That's why I like the older movies much more than today's movies. But
this is a great double feature.
So what I'll do is I'll probably watch it tonight after we get off the stream. And when I review it, I will tag your YouTube channel in it, and I will send you the link to the video so you are
so sweet. Thank you.
That's what I did. Sledgehammer Horror wanted me to watch the house, I think it was called.
House is his favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, so he wanted me to watch that. So I linked his channel, and I said that he suggested I watch this movie, and so I linked it to him, and then he commented on that video.
I appreciate it.
Because if anybody suggests a movie or something for me to watch, I always link their channel and everything and tell who told me to watch that movie. So I will do that for you too.
Like I told you, I was writing a book. My book's actually about werewolves, and one of the reasons why is werewolves. I feel like your look of your werewolf and your transformation can make or break your movie. And I've seen some movies that, like the werewolves, like American Wolf in Paris, which I actually do enjoy that one, but that was a huge letdown when I saw it in the cinema because it is a sequel to American Werewolf in London. It's not nearly as good, but the werewolves are just like, they're like a CGI warthog.
No, I didn't like that one as much either.
Also, this movie was made by Disney, so that might have something to do with it.
Probably.
Hollywood Pictures, Disney. But I remember I was so stoked about this one, and it was kind of a letdown. It's grown on me over the years as just kind of a cheesy movie.
Right.
But yeah, with the CGI werewolves, it doesn't have that.
It doesn't look right. That's what I say.
It doesn't feel real. It doesn't.
No.
It looks like a cartoon.
Strange Monkey saying American and Werewolf is a forever and defeat. Yes.
Agreed.
Teen Wolf is life. Teen Wolf is good.
I didn't grab that one, but I got that too. I got you, girl. Yeah, Teen Wolf. I have a Teen Wolf Funko Pop too. It's in my bedroom. I love Teen Wolf though. I love Teen Wolf too.
I do too.
I love Teen Wolf.
I like them both. I like them both. I like that movie made me want to watch Michael J. Fox movies just because of how much fun he was having with those movies and stuff. Gory, you look so bright and colorful. I love it.
Thank you, mommy. It helps that my mommy gets me like she's so supportive. She got me this shirt. She buys me a lot of the awesome like makeup and stuff I have in my collection. My mommy's the best.
That's awesome. I wish my mommy was still here. I miss her every day.
My mom's always been super supportive. Ever since like when I became pagan. Weekend when I was like 16, she got me my first pentacle, my first athame. My mom's always been
that's
really
awesome.
Great.
Yeah, my mom was the same
she got
way.
Me the stick doll.
That's awesome.
She spoils.
Yeah, my mom was the same way when she was alive. She passed away 12 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
On my birthday. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I don't.
It kind of gives you like a connection. I don't know if I'm remembering the story exactly, but my grandmother always said that she thought that I had a lot of her dad in me. And she said something along the lines of like, I think that when he died was kind of close to like, not the year, but the day is close to when I was born.
Right.
And she thought there was something to do with that.
Yeah. I actually see my mom sometimes in my dreams and stuff like that. And she's like talking to me. So.
It gives you I don't know. I think there's something special about that, though. I mean, I'm sorry that happened on your birthday.
It's all right. I watched The Howling last night. Another great movie. Dee Wallace is amazing.
Horrific Nightmares mentioned a really good one called Late Phases. That's a good one to talk about. That one, have you seen Late Phases?
I have not seen that one.
Really good one. I like when we get to explore different characters. Now, I was a teenager in the 90s, and so everything in the 90s was directed at teenagers, which was cool because I was a teenager. But now that I've gotten older, I want to hear different people's stories. And that story is about a blind vet. And his son, Ethan Embry, is basically like, you need to be in kind of a retirement community, Dad, because you're getting old. And you know, he's surrounded by all these little old ladies who are so gossipy and up in his business.
Right.
But then, and his best friend, his only friend, is his dog. And then people start dying. You find out that there's a werewolf in the community, and it's you know, in this community of like old folks. And so it's a really good story.
I'll have to check it out. Did you see the art from Terrifier?
Art Clown from Terrifier. I have. He is terrifying. He's also in I'm drawing a blank, but there's an anthology series, All Hallows Eve. He's in that. And there's a sequel coming out this year that looks really good.
I still have to watch
also
Terrifier.
Met the actor who plays him.
I have to still watch Terrifier. I haven't seen it yet.
It's intense, but if you like that, like I do, you might like it.
I've heard about it. I've heard it's very brutal too.
It is.
Because somebody was talking about it on the Lethal Collective today.
Yeah.
What about Werewolf Island?
Never seen it.
I think that's a Wild Eye movie or a Dollar Tree movie that he's talking about.
You know what? You can get some good movies at the Dollar Tree. I found Bad Milo there. There's some good ones. Some ones you wouldn't expect.
Oh, I love Queen of the Damned. That movie is so good. Who doesn't love Aaliyah?
Yeah, Aaliyah. I mean, she's iconic.
Yeah, she is. I loved her music.
That's a sexy ass movie too. I was a little. Now I will be honest. Kind of switching gears a little bit here. I was disappointed by that movie initially. You know how our opinions kind of change. So Interview the Vampire is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh,
it
I
is
love
my second favorite vampire movie. I was a big horror fan, and I didn't have horror friends when I was a teenager. My friend was a sci-fi nerd. So we had a deal. If I made her go see this again with me, she would make me go see Stargate. We saw Stargate and Interview the Vampire 7 times while it was in this theater. I remember counting the months until this came out on VHS. I love this movie so much.
I do too. I love the book. Have you read the book?
I think it's better than the book. I love it. And even Anne Rice, like, you know, ate her words. She was like, Tom Cruise is playing Lestat, her favorite creation. And then she's like, no, he was phenomenal. He's not Tom Cruise anymore. He is Lestat in this movie. This movie is incredible. Beautifully shot, beautifully acted.
Maybe we could do a deep dive into that movie one day.
Yeah. But then afterwards, they were going to do the Vampire Lestat, which is one of my favorites in the franchise, the book franchise. And then it got put off. And then all of a sudden they're doing Queen of the Damned. It doesn't have any of the same actors in it. And it's a very different kind of movie. And I've grown to appreciate it over the years because it is good. But at the time, I really was kind of bummed that we never got the follow-up to this that we initially thought we were going to get.
Maybe we'll get it in the future. Who knows?
Maybe. I know there's a series coming out.
Hey Marcus, I shot him 6 times. Guys, go follow him. He's amazing.
I shot him 6 times.
Stopping by for a little show, some love. Great stream. Silver Bullet is my favorite werewolf movie, and The Lost Boys is my favorite vampire movie. I
am so prepared. I got you, girl. I got it.
I have not seen Silver Bullet, so I will check.
Oh, you're breaking my heart. So Silver Bullet, I'm sorry if I'm talking so damn much, but Silver Bullet is based on an idea that started off as a calendar by Stephen King. And the idea was that for every month of the year would be like a different kind of horror story. And then that became Cycle of the Werewolf, which takes place over the course of a year. And that's what Silver Bullet was adapted from. Really great movie. Gary Busey and Corey Haim. It's about a boy who is wheelchair bound. It's told from the point of view of his sister. And he has this uncle, Gary Busey, who's, you know, like lets him kind of let loose a bit because his mom kind of is a little, holds him back a bit because of his disability. But then, you know, every month somebody dies in their town and they realize there's a werewolf. And this kid and his uncle and his sister end up trying to figure out who it is. And it's really good. Great practical effects in this one, too, and kind of a fun mystery. But it's the Stephen King werewolf movie. It's good.
Nice. I like Stephen King. I love his books and his movies and stuff. I actually watched on Night Watch Zone. We actually watched what Nightwalkers. Steven and I watched Nightwalkers for the first time.
I'm so glad they mentioned I Still Believe. Okay, the guy with the saxophone is my spirit animal. I love that guy. So he's like my Patronus. Like oily guy who's like, I still believe. Best soundtrack of all time. I love this movie. This movie, it's so weird because sometimes you hear about how things get manipulated. And originally this movie, it was supposed to be, the script was about boys in like middle school. And they are more like the age of the boys in Peter Pan's The Lost Boys. And the idea was that their father was essentially trying to get the mother of these two boys to be like their Wendy. Right. And so it really played into that Peter Pan parallel a lot more. Then they got Joel Schumacher, and Joel Schumacher was like, no, like we need to make this sexy. And I hate when people are like, oh, I don't like sexy vampires and stuff. Twilight sucks. Okay, sexy vampires. Sexy vampires were around before Twilight, guys, okay? Let's not hate. Yep. In fact, even sparkly vampires, if you read Queen of the Damned, she says that their skin is like marble, which is exactly like Twilight. So Marcus, the Twilight hate train.
Marcus, if I do a Silver Bullet watch train, you have to come up here with me. We'll watch it together.
But this movie is incredible. It's so like rock and roll and fun. And I love the soundtrack. And it's funny and scary. And just the performances are incredible. It's a great mash of comedy and horror. The only thing I dislike about this movie is it popularized the mullet.
Yeah, it did. I watched that movie for the first time like a few months ago.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. Yeah. When I was teenager, like 18, a girlfriend and I, we lived together, and we only had 3 VHS tapes. We had her tape of Mulan, my tapes of we had 3. My tapes of Practical Magic, Firestarter, and The Lost Boys. So we watched Lost Boys because we only had a handful of VHS tapes. We didn't have cable.
The Lost Boys came out
like multiple times a week.
In 1987 or 86?
Lost Boys?
Yeah.
I honestly, it's 1987.
So that was a year after I was born that movie came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't remember when I first saw it. There's sequels too. I don't think the sequels are as good, but they're not bad.
Right. Oh, yeah. I love Practical Magic.
Practical Magic is a witch masterpiece.
I watched that movie for the first time last year around Halloween time.
That movie just has my heart. I love that movie.
I loved it. Because I love witches as well. So maybe we'll do a live stream on witches too.
I appreciate it. I'm a witch, practicing witch. And I will say, I'm going to start doing more reviews from a witch perspective where I give you my thoughts on the movie, but I also tell you how accurate is it to actual witchcraft. And Practical Magic is one of the closest ones because real witchcraft isn't shooting lightning from your hands. It's grinding herbs and using gems.
The craft kind of reminds me of kind of like witchy stuff too.
The Craft is another one where they actually had a Wiccan advisor on set. Fairuza Balk also as a practitioner. And Rachel True is very spiritual. So they had a lot of really good influences on that movie. Mm-hmm. And how they describe Mano is basically the concept of spirit in Wicca.
That's one of my favorite witch movies as well as The Craft. And
that is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I have to also say Hocus Pocus 2 is one of my favorites. I'm excited for Hocus Pocus 2.
I'm so excited. So I told you that The Craft is one of my favorite movies. My actual favorite horror movie of all time is actually, and I brought it because I brought so many movies for you. This is my favorite horror movie of all time. I love Fright Night. When I was a really little girl, I can't remember, I probably was on TV. My mom showed it to me because my mom's the best. But I remember like so much, like the Charlie Brewster, my dog is named after this movie. My dog is named Brewster, as in you're so cool, Brewster. But I related to him and so much, and even Evil Ed, because Evil Ed is kind of ostracized for his love of horror. And when I was a kid, I didn't know anybody else who liked this kind of spooky stuff. I remember I wrote a story in school that was spooky, and my teacher got really like alarmed. And it's like, it's just a scary story. I got detention once for reading Wolf's Hour in the 5th grade, which is about werewolves. So yeah, I related to that so hard. And then also Christopher Sarandon, before I even knew what those things were, I had the biggest crush on Jerry Dandridge.
I have not. The funny thing is I've only seen the original to Fright Night. I haven't seen. I've seen the remake to Fright Night, not the original.
Oh, you're breaking my heart. Like, I love Anton, but the remake is not. The remake is not good, in my opinion. I know so many people love it, so please don't hate me for saying that. Maybe it's because I'm so passionate about the original. But the remake, it really missed a lot of the points of what made it so great. So you have Charlie Brewster, who's kind of in a rear window situation. He's just a guy who's trying to get laid with his girlfriend, and then he thinks he sees a murder happen across at his next door neighbor's house. And nobody believes him. He's also this guy who's obsessed with like vampires and stuff and horror movies. So nobody kind of believes him, except for his friend Evil Ed. A little bit starts to kind of like, humor him a little bit. And his girlfriend humors him, but nobody really believes him. And so he contacts the host of his favorite horror show, Peter Vincent, which originally they wanted Vincent Price for that, but he turned it down. But I think Roddy McDowall is so wonderful because he meets him, and this guy is not a fearless vampire killer. He's a coward. And that's what the remake missed out on. They turned him into like Chris Angel.
Yes.
And what's wonderful about Peter Vincent is he is an absolute coward. And he has that moment from Dracula where he realizes that Charlie is telling the truth because the vampire Jerry Dandridge does not have a reflection. And at first, being a coward, he runs away. He's like, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't know you. And then the fact that he, even though he's terrified, goes there to save a boy that he barely knows. It's so great. There's a great moment where he's confronting Jerry Dandridge and he has a cross. And Jerry Dandridge says, you got to have faith for that to work on me. And at first it doesn't. And then he gets that courage inside of him, and then it does work. This movie has powerful characters in it, and even Jerry, like, he's a vampire, but again, sexy vampire before Twilight, people. He's a vampire, but you sympathize with him. He's lonely. He's been around a really long time, and he sees somebody who reminds him of somebody that he once loved. I also love that the accidental special effects of this. The special effects guy, he was working with Tom Holland, who directed this, who also directed Child's Play. And he decided he wanted to do like a shark mouth, but he didn't have a lot of time to do it. And he actually really hated the way it looked at first. But it ended up being incredible, so much so that it's on the poster.
That's awesome.
The effects in this movie are amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. Also,
definitely check that out.
Unsung, but I also love Fright Night 2. This is another.
I didn't know that there was another one.
This one, not enough people have seen it, and I really love it. The Girl from My Boyfriend's Back is in it. You have Charlie Brewster, who's back, and Roddy McDowall as Peter Vincent. Roddy McDowall is probably most famous for Planet of the Apes. But in this one, it's Jerry Dandridge's sister, and there's some really horrific moments. There's a vampire who's on roller skates in this, and the way they kind of glide like across the ground. There's a great there's a great bowling scene. One of the guys who was in Napoleon Dynamite is in this. He plays a werewolf. So it's actually a werewolf and a vampire movie. There's a guy, Brian Thompson, who was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the show Kindred the Embrace. He plays this vampire who's like eating bugs. So it's got so many homages to great horror movies of like the Universal age. This movie is incredible. This movie does not get enough credit. It isn't as good as this one, but this is a masterpiece. But this is still a great movie.
I'll check them both out. I'm gonna find them and check them both out. Horrific Nightmares JM says the Lord Salem is a masterpiece. I haven't seen
Salem, yeah. Actually, Horrific Nightmares, if you're a fan of Lords of Salem, I highly recommend. Rob Zombie made a book of that, and it's also really good. I really like Lords of Salem.
And then Danny's saying Monster Squad has a great werewolf. Yes, they do, and an awesome Dracula. Yes, it does. That's such a good film too. Good 80s film.
I'm just checking through my movies I brought for you.
Has anyone seen Weird?
Oh, I'm so excited. Neon Black Reviews. Bless your heart. Yeah, actually, that's one of the ones I wanted to talk to you. Now, I'm not a big William Brent Bell fan. I think a lot of his movies are kind of not. I didn't like Devil Inside much. And The Boy, but his best movie by far, in my opinion, is Where. And what I love about this movie is it's kind of like a realistic werewolf movie. It's kind of like found footage style, but this woman is representing this man who he's foreign and he's very tall. So she thinks he's being basically like they're basically like going on a witch hunt, and they're blaming this man for things that he didn't do because he has a condition and because he's foreign, and it's kind of like a xenophobic thing. But no, this guy actually is a fucking werewolf, and he's really, really strong, and she gets in way over her head. The werewolf looks great. It's a very believable story. It's like a realistic werewolf story. It's really good. Not enough people have seen it. I highly recommend Were.
I will have to check that out. I just found it on, I just looked it up because movies that I haven't seen, I look up to see if I can find it on streaming, and I can watch it on Amazon. So
that was one of the ones I wanted to bring for you today, but it's the only one I don't have on it's not on Blu-ray, and it's hard to find on DVD, but that is the only one I actually don't own.
Okay. Yeah, let me know when you're free, Marcus, and we'll do it. I have to watch it. Okay, Carrie, you can come up too, and we'll do a watch party.
If you like people to interrupt the movie with annoying fun facts, I'm your girl.
You can come too. Come on.
I'm really annoying.
Let's make it a nice party. You can come too.
All right.
Toni Collette.
Oh, I do like Toni Collette. I mean, the acting I like. I don't like what they did with the characters. Charlie Brewster is a little too cool. I disliked the Peter Vincent character entirely. There are things I like about it, but it's not, to me, it's not Fright Night.
Right.
I kind of just wish they had kind of just made their own thing, because it wasn't.
Rest in peace, the one actor that played the next door neighbor. He passed away.
No, he's the main character, Charlie Brewster, Anton.
Yeah.
He passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcy Darcy from Married with Children is in the original. She's
yes. Okay.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, I like the remake. I haven't seen, like I said, I haven't seen the original, so I can't really say much on that. Oh, I love Buffy.
Okay, so I know Carrie mentioned that because Buffy to me is not even just a fandom, it's like a religion. If you look at my bedroom, I have a Buffy quilt on the wall and all the books. I just got Kendall Blake's new book.
And you get to see Donald Sutherland in that movie too. Sutherland's in that movie.
Yeah, it all started with this movie. This movie came out when I was in middle school, because I'm old. And I remember like kids at school were talking about it, and I wanted to see it so bad. And finally at a slumber party, one of my friends rented it, and I just loved it right away. I had the poster up on my wall. I adored this movie so much. And so when I got to high school, I heard there was going to be a TV show, and we didn't have the WB in my city. It was so much work to be able to see that. I ended up having to a girl, a friend of mine met in a Xena chat room, ended up sending us VHS tapes from California. I worked hard to see Buffy, but such an incredible story.
Yeah, it is. And David Arquette, when he's younger, he's in
David Arquette. Let me in, Pike. You're floating. Oh my god,
yeah.
I love that. I also think it was really ahead of its time in the character of Pike, played by I'm drawing a blank. I feel really bad. Luke Perry. Luke Perry's character in this is really ahead of its time, because he doesn't try to save the day. He lets her be the hero. He is content supporting her. And in a lot of these kind of movies, the guy's like, don't worry, baby, I'm going to save you. And he's just like, no, you are the slayer. You're the badass. You know, he believes in her. And that honestly is like the best thing in movies like this. Sometimes you got to.
That's why I like Buffy the best, because it's all girl power, and I'm all for girl power. I guess you can say I'm a feminist, I guess. Yeah, that's what you would call me, I guess. Because I'm all for girl power. Girls should build each other up. And that's basically kind of like what that movie is. And he's like, no, you're the hero. I'm not the hero.
But he's willing to like help her, which also I think is incredibly brave. He has no powers, but he's putting himself in danger because of what he believes in, which makes him a true hero. Also, Paul Rubens is in here as a vampire. He was a Pee-wee Herman. This movie is incredible. I love this movie. I know it gets some slack because a lot of people say it's not.
I think I've seen it when I was like 6 or 7. I watched that movie.
So good. I love it so much.
It is. Brian Thompson did the doctor in.
Yeah, Brian Thompson was the bug eater in. He was the bug eater in Fright Night 2. He's also a prominent role in the TV show, a really great vampire TV show that came out in the 90s called Kindred the Embraced.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Really good. Brian Thompson also played the judge, and he played Luke, who was in the first episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's actually from Yakima, from Washington State.
Oh wow, yeah, I love Ginger Snaps.
Oh, I got that for you too. I got you, girl. Hopefully, I'm not being super annoying.
No,
I get
you're
really
not.
excited. So I love Ginger Snaps because there are so many movies, you know, where you see that there are men who have a dark side of them, and so often we don't see that with women. But there are women just like men who want to see the world burn, and especially I think when you're a teenager, you kind of go through this angry phase.
Yeah,
and Ginger has that. She's angry and dark and depressed, and her sister's her best friend. And it's like a great werewolf story, but it's also kind of the story like she's maturing faster than her sister. And it's like it's creating a divide between this bond that they have. And so there's so many great metaphors in here. It's also so incredibly funny. I love that the mom, the moment she finds out her kids are like murdering people, she's like, okay, we're just going to leave and I'm going to cover it up. Like, that's so me as a mom.
Yeah. I think any mom would do something like that for their child, just about.
It's incredible. And also great practical effects in this one too.
Yes.
Really
and also,
great movie.
A lot of people, I did a fun fact for Friday Fright Reviews with my friend, Colorado Killer Queen, Ashley. So I watched that movie for the first time a few months ago for Friday Fright Reviews because I hadn't seen it. And I did a fun facts because I love doing fun facts about movies and stuff like that. Any kind of movie that I review, I try to find some fun facts. Those two girls are actually, if you've seen A Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff, they're actually in that movie.
They are. They're also both in the show Supernatural. Catherine Isabel, who ended up becoming American Mary, she is one of the people who are infected by demon blood in season 2. And
yes, she is. I love
Perkins. She was Beverly in the It miniseries, but she ended up becoming the one who was like kind of obsessed with Sam later on. Also, this movie, a lot of people don't realize has a connection to Orphan Black, and they share the same writer. So their town is mentioned in Orphan Black. And then if you get to the second one, what's her name? Tatiana Maslany
too. I haven't seen.
She plays Ghost in this, and now she's a huge deal. She was the star of Orphan Black, and she's in She-Hulk now.
Oh, I was gonna say, don't get me started on Supernatural because I could talk about that show for hours.
I love that show. A lot of people don't appreciate this one, but I think it's really cool. It's a different kind of werewolf story. It focuses more on Bridget, and she's basically having to inject herself so that she can not change into a werewolf, and she goes into like a rehab facility. And it's I like the twist at the end, but it is not for everybody. I know a lot of people hate it, but I think Tatiana Maslany, like, this is when I first realized that I was like, who is this girl? She's got some talent. And now, you know, especially after Orphan Black, she's a really big deal. There's a third one too. That one I think is beautiful. I'm not as into the story, but it is beautiful.
Right. Carrie's asking, how about Cursed?
Oh, I feel so nerdy, but yeah, I got you. Yeah, I didn't get the Scream Factory edition.
That one's a good one.
This is the Wes Craven one, and
yes.
This one really pays respect as far as like the pentagram on the hand. That's something that we see in the original Wolfman. That's something that we see in America. Well, we don't see it on the hand in American Werewolf in London, but it is on the wall. And so it pays respect to a lot of that. It's got some interesting things in here. I'd never seen werewolfism like passed as like an STD before, but that's kind of the premise of this movie. Is you have sex with a werewolf, you're going to be a werewolf. Well before her Halloween success. Right after Jawbreaker, you have Judy Greer in here as the only werewolf I've ever seen flip somebody off. Christina Ricci is great in this. This movie is really, really good. I think people are starting to appreciate it more now because it's very, very funny.
I'll have to rewatch it because I haven't watched it in a long time, but I have to rewatch it. Marcus, I can do it tomorrow at like 11 because I don't get off until like 9:30, and I have to record Danger Zone with Strange Monkey tomorrow, so I could do that like around 11:30 tomorrow. And then Sunday nights, if you go to Night Watch Stone's channel, we're gonna watch They Them as a watch party. So if you want to do it around like 11:30 tomorrow, we can do that then, because otherwise Sunday night, go to Night Watchstone's channel, and we will be doing They Them. We'll be doing a watch party, and we haven't seen it yet. None of us seen it yet.
Seen what?
They Them.
Oh, I've seen that.
Knight hasn't watched it. Craven hasn't watched it.
I feel like that movie has kind of
Sunday night.
divided audiences, and I feel like it's not fair that people are putting a lot of pressure on it, because it does deal with conversion camps, and that is a serious topic. But the movie, people are criticizing it for not exploring it that deeply. This movie is trying to be an empowerment story for people who are trans or LGBTQ. And often in horror movies, they're the villains. And I think it succeeded in what it set out to do. And it is a good movie. It could horror a bit more for my taste, because it's supposed to be a slasher movie and it doesn't do enough.
Tomorrow night,
it is enjoyable.
Also tomorrow night, I'm recording with Strange Monkey. Orphan the First Kill. We're doing a series called him and I are doing the series. I could here, you guys want to see it? I'll show you guys. Called The Danger Zone. I'll show you guys the little thing that I made for it. And so we're going to be doing that, and our first episode's going to be Orphan the First Kill. I just watched it today. It's on Paramount Plus if you guys have it. Here, I'll show you guys The Danger Zone. Here we go. So that's my little intro to Danger Zone I made.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah. And so we'll be doing that tomorrow. So look for that review. I don't know if it's going to be on my channel or his channel yet, but I'll link you guys. I'll let you guys know. Yes, I love Catherine Isabel in that movie.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she is. And actually, ironically, Catherine's my real name, ironically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. Yes. Is in Fright Night. And
yeah, he's also the Wolfman who's got nards.
Yes. Yeah, she is. She's beautiful. Jungle Boy Jack Perry is yes.
He's a wrestler, Luke Perry's son.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you actually, if you watch the wrestling documentary about David Arquette's kind of wrestling career called You Can't Kill David Arquette, you see Luke Perry and his son Jungle Boy in that for a little bit.
Gory B just spitting out movie facts so fast. My head's spinning. Love it. Gory's awesome, you guys. I love Gory. She's awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey. Look who just popped in here. Hey,
Craven.
Hanging out with my daughter, so I can't stay, but wanted to say hi. We'll watch the replay. Have a great night. We love you, Craven. Enjoy your night.
Absolutely. Have fun with your daughter.
Yes, have fun. So let me know if you want to do it tomorrow night, like around 11:30 or so. We could do that, because I don't have to go to work until like 12:45 both days, so I can stay up as late as I want.
What are you watching tomorrow?
Bullet Train. He wants to watch Bullet Train tomorrow.
Have fun with that. I'm taking my son to Comic-Con tomorrow so he can meet Freddie Prinze Jr., who is Fred. He's a Scooby-Doo massive fan.
I love Freddie Prinze Jr.
He wants to meet Freddie Prinze Jr.
I know what you did last summer.
And he wants to meet Grey DeLise because she does the voice of Daphne.
He was in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I know. That's, I think, my favorite thing that he's done. But he wants to meet everybody who was in the Scooby-Doo movie eventually. He's met Matthew Lillard. He was really sweet to him.
I wish I could meet Matthew Lillard so I could make him do Shaggy.
He did it for my son. He's actually not really allowed to do it. But he really liked my son, and he he's like, come here. And he did it in his ear. Like, he was really sweet.
What do y'all think of the Project Meet?
No idea what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
I'm just not hip, yeah.
I wanted to watch them alternate.
So Carrie, I think it was Carrie mentioned this movie here, and this is Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. One of the things I really get frustrated by is when people say, no to remakes, because I think remakes do a very important job. It's like campfire stories or urban legends. They keep the story going. And so just as the book, the movie reignited love of the book, which also reignited love of Nosferatu, which is based on the book. Then Hammer brought it back, and then Francis Ford Coppola brought it back in the 90s with this movie, which I think is really, really great. It's beautiful, and it's kind of sexy, and Gary Oldman's incredible in it. Anthony Hopkins is great in it. It's a really, really great movie. I really like this one. Also, apparently, Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves, they believe that they're actually married because they did have a real priest and they did do the real ceremony. So they believe that they're actually married because of this movie. This movie also owes a big debt to Black Sunday, which is a great witch / kind of vampire movie. Really good Mario Bava movie. She's kind of a witch vampire type thing, but it's really good and creepy. The scenes with the stagecoach when Harker is going to Dracula's castle, a lot of those scenes you can see were pulled directly out of Black Sunday. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous film.
Oh, no. I'll have to check that one out, and the one that you said before that. Yes, I've seen Freddie Prinze and Matthew Lillard in Summer Catch. I like that movie.
They were also in Wing Commander together, and they're both in She's All That together. Like, those guys did a lot of movies together.
I love She's All That, too.
He's doing a reunion panel with Rachel Lee Cook at Comic-Con tomorrow, which is cool.
Okay.
I mean, my son's not interested in that. He's there for the Scooby-Doo.
Project Metal Beast is a werewolf movie from 1995 about a metal skin werewolf played by I'm
gonna have to check that. I'm gonna write that one down. Where's my post-it?
I know, I always write stuff down too.
It is hard to come up with a movie that I haven't seen or heard of, so I'll have to check that out.
It's always fun doing these live streams because you never know like what the audience is gonna say or what is going to do or anything,
Absolutely.
Matthew and Freddie definitely have bromance when I was here for
I was here for it. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too. And I know he gets along. I know Matthew Lillard gets along with Jamie Kennedy too.
And Freddie Prinze Jr. is actually working on starting his own wrestling company right now, which is really exciting.
That's awesome. Have a good night, Kevin. Thank you for stopping by.
Kevin.
He's so awesome. Can you suggest the best horror movie or series?
Best series is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Done.
Yeah.
And my favorite horror movie would be Fright Night, but that's
my favorite horror movie is the Rob Zombie's First Halloween.
Oh, nice.
But
you and I are going to talk about that on my channel.
And also The Shining. I like both of them. I can't like those movies. I don't know which one I like equally.
I'm excited to talk to you about the Halloween because I'm going to be reviewing, live streaming a discussion about every single Halloween movie leading up to Halloween, and I know you're going to be on with me for Rob Zombie's first Halloween. So
yes, that's going to be awesome. I have to rewatch the movie again.
It's a great excuse to rewatch the franchise, so I'm really happy. And then I might do other franchises afterwards. I know there's a Friday the 13th coming up in January, and I think if I time it right, then I can do those ones leading up to Friday the 13th.
Right.
So
we'll see. That'll be awesome. Or you could do Scream when it comes out next year.
I love Scream so much.
Me too.
Yeah, I think.
Are you on the stew train, as Craven would say? Are you on the stew train or no?
Oh, of course I'm on the stew train. Stew. I was on the stew trial.
Yes.
But
well,
yeah,
I know because I know Fate is not really on board.
My channel, I spend my time on videos doing a lot of like B movies or forgotten movies. So a lot of the mainstream franchises I don't really cover because a lot of horror fans have already seen them. That's not really what I put my time into. But for streams, I think they're great. And so I definitely want to stream those movies and I'd rather have a discussion with other people about them than just do a video.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes I've noticed doing live streams by myself is kind of hard because I don't know what to talk about.
It's a little intimidating. Night actually finally got me to do it. I've been on YouTube for a long time, started with Horror Addicts. But Night was the one who convinced me earlier this year to start streaming by myself. And then I started doing I started with a Saturday stream by myself. And now we're doing Sunday fight nights. So that's really fun.
Yes. You guys should go check out Sunday fight nights. So what I normally do is I go hang out with you and then like around like 11 11:30, 12 o'clock, I go hang out with Knight and Craven. We do a movie watch party.
That's cool.
I hang out with you. First I hang out with Patrick, then I hang out with you, then I go hang out with them. So it's
That's a
nice
good
to
night.
that's like my Sunday night lineup. So it's
I
nice
love
to hang
it.
out with everybody.
I'm excited. This Sunday's going to be Slashers. It's one of the ones I'm most looking forward to. And I might even have a Michael Myers show up. So we'll see.
Nice. Freddie Prinze Jr. also starting up his own wrestling company, is actually a writer. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's
Learn
a
something.
big wrestling fan.
You learn something new every day. Yes, Buffy,
yeah, on my
I will
channel I'm
read it.
also, because I like to, you know me, I love being nerdy with the fun facts. It's annoying for some probably, but for me that's just how I am.
I love watching people on YouTube that just come out with fun facts or random facts about the
That's
movies.
kind of what I do. I'm
Because
thinking about, for all the Buffy episodes, I'm doing like an all the gory details. Where all the gory details, I basically take everything I know about it and I make a video about it. So I might do that with every episode of Buffy if people are interested.
I would totally be down for that, girl.
That's awesome. I love Buffy so much.
Me too. Danny's saying his favorite movie is
It is. We
Evil
actually have a
Dead 2.
poster of that above our bed.
I like Evil Dead 2. It's good.
So
the
good.
best horror movie is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That is definitely a masterpiece, and I love it.
Mm-hmm. X kind of reminded me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I actually watched that with Knight and Craven, and oh my god, the look on Craven's face. You guys have to go back and watch that video. Oh my god, the look on his face when the old couple are having sex. Oh my god. Look on his face.
He has the best expressions.
Yeah, he does. And Danny sings. Speaking of Buffy and Freddie Prinze Jr., those
That's
two
awesome.
are married for 20 years now. That's
they
pretty
have two
impressive.
kids, Charlotte and Rocky, and she's been introducing her kids to Buffy, and I guess they really love it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I've seen Resident Evil Dead and Texas Chainsaw. Yes, they're both.
I know everyone's stoked about the new Halloween, but I got to tell you, my franchise sequel I'm most excited for this year is Evil Dead Rise. I'm really excited.
I'm excited for that too. I haven't even seen any of the trailers for it or anything.
They haven't dropped a trailer yet.
Oh, okay.
And it was supposed to drop on streaming, but I guess there's enough fan interest that it might actually come at theater. So fingers crossed.
That'll be awesome. Just like I was surprised that Orphan First Kill is in theaters and you can watch it on Paramount Plus, and I was like, that's interesting.
That is. I know a lot of people are really excited about that one.
Oh, it was really good. Do you like The Orphan? Did you see it?
I thought Orphan was incredible. That twist at the end was so good. And the actress played it so well. I'm curious because this one's a prequel and it's the same actress. Like, I'm curious how it's going to work because she would be younger.
It worked very, very well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there's a plot.
I think she's talented enough that she can pull it off.
Like,
I'm
like in the last
styles again.
In the last act, you think it's going to end, but it doesn't. It's really interesting.
I just rented it, so I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna check it out.
I can't wait to hear. I'll have to message you when you watch it and see your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have a gal pal to like chat horror with. So definitely hit me up anytime. DM, slide into those DMs, girl.
Well, I don't like to bug people too much, so I don't.
You sound just like my son. My son never calls or texts anyone because he's like, I don't want to bug people, but you honestly cannot bug me unless you're asking me for like to do something I don't want to do. But if you want to talk horror with me, you're absolutely not bugging me.
Okay, go ahead, watch that reaction. I think Knight has it as a short video on his YouTube channel, but it's so funny.
I shot him 6 times. Will be over on my one of my Halloween streams coming up here too. I got a lot of cool people on that. Craven will be on one. Knight will be on one. My friend Lee from Drum Dums will be on one. Bloodbath TV. My friend Jay will be on one. My husband.
That's awesome. It's gonna be so much fun to hang out and talk Halloween.
I think it's gonna be great.
That's my favorite franchise. My second is Scream. Then it's Nightmare. Then it's Jason.
My favorite unpopular opinion, and I'm actually doing a video on why it's my favorite, is Chucky.
I also like Chucky too. I forget that that's a franchise.
A lot of people do. That's why I was making a video on it, kind of explaining why. For me, it's significant.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's a wrong answer. They're all terrific franchises. I love them all. I always call them my boys. You know,
Right.
any movie with one of my boys, Jason, Freddie, Chucky, I'm there. I'm there opening day because I've grown up with these guys.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think we all have. Well, I started watching horror movies when I was like 5 because my older brother's 10 years older than me. So my first like horror movie, I guess you can say it's a horror movie. I don't really know, is The Crow. He loved that movie.
I love
So
that
it's
movie. I saw
so
that
it's
in
one
the
of my
cinema when I was a teenager.
so it's one of my like favorite horror
Oh,
movies.
actually,
And
I'm wrong about that. It came out when I was in middle school. The Crow, I remember I babysat for a couple, and they were really into the graphic novel. And I remember the guy, the dad, was all dressed up and stuff. And I was like, wow, what are you guys going to go see? And he told me about it. He's like, okay, while you're babysitting, your job after she goes to bed is to read this. And I read it, and it was so good and heartbreaking. And then my mom and I rented it when it came out at Blockbuster. And I remember how much she laughed. Like, my biggest memory when we first saw it is how much she laughed when the cop calls the guy an ass hair. But that movie,
right.
it's beautiful and gothic. And I tried to show it to my son, and maybe it just doesn't hit as well with the younger generation. He didn't
Right.
really
I
care
don't
for
think
it.
it does. Because
He thought it was too
technically,
melodramatic.
I'm a millennial technically, but I don't act like a millennial.
I'm a geriatric millennial. I'm just barely. 1981 was the year millennials started, so I'm a year off from being Gen X. I guess some people call it like a zennial.
Yeah, Zennial.
But yeah, I remember. I remember a time when there was no internet.
I do too.
I
I
need to
remember
stop doing
dial-up.
these things.
Remember when you had to like say, "Mom, can I go on the internet?" and you had to hook it up to the phone line and all
I
that.
didn't have dial-up internet until I was an adult, but I remember I had a gal pal and she worked at McDonald's, I worked at Kmart. And after work, in the time that the dial-up would take to load up the we would make a sandwich and it would still not quite be ready.
Yep, I would take a shower or something.
Exactly. You had time, but yeah, you had to make sure nobody picked up the phone or it would kick your ass off.
Yep. I remember I was playing Neopets or something, and my brother kicked me off, and I was so mad because he wanted to
Honestly,
talk
like
to his
when I was
girlfriend.
in high school, that's when the internet kind of became a little more popular, and nobody I knew really had it. I had a friend who her dad's friend had the internet and had a computer. Like a lot of people didn't have home computers. My dad had like one with a black screen and the green writing that had like number munchers on it. But yeah, I would go over to my friend's dad's friend's house and he would let me play on the internet for a couple hours. And then eventually my friend got a computer and we would be in like chat rooms all the time. Like it was
Right.
completely different back in the day. The internet was.
Your brother's saying he likes the Killer Spoon.
There's a short film about this guy who just repeatedly hits somebody with a spoon. My brother thinks it's hilarious. It's actually pretty good.
It's on Marcus. It's on Night Watch Zone channel.
Neon Black, I'm bummed you don't like Child's Play, but I have my reasons for why I think it's the best. Honestly, I think it's got the most love put into it. A lot of these franchises like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, they take these movies, which are kind of like their children, their creations, and then Wes drops it at the firehouse after part 3, and John Carpenter drops it at the firehouse after part 3. But Don Mancini and David Kirshner have stayed with Child's Play from the very beginning to now. And maybe not every movie is everyone's cup of tea, but they've always tried to tell a good story. They put 100% of their heart and passion into telling a story.
Exactly.
They're not out just to make a buck. The people who are involved in these franchises, these stories, Jennifer Tilly, Brad Dourif, are very passionate about it. Everyone's treated really well. It's ahead of its time in so many ways. I got a big video going into depth with this, but it really is a franchise that I don't think gets enough credit for how good it is.
Yes, Neil, it was on Night Watch Zone. Hi, Ricky. Kevin saying James Barr real life leading up to The Crow was pretty tragic in his opening. Yeah, it was.
It's so sad that he passed away too.
And your mommy saying when Corey was a baby, we didn't have a phone. We used a red box down the road.
Yeah, you know the telephone booths. I grew up in England.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember those. I remember now there's no payphones anywhere.
My mom used to take me. My mom used to ride her bike everywhere, and she had a little seat on the back, and I was like, you know, like the sidecar kid. I was on the back, and she would just take us everywhere to my grandmother's house, everywhere.
Oh wow, yeah. So what else are some of your favorite werewolf or vampire movies? What do you?
Do you want werewolf or vampire? I got you.
Either one. Pick one.
This is one of my favorites, Bad Moon. This is one I believe it went straight to video.
I
But
have
it's
not
also
seen
based
that.
on one of my favorite books. That book made me cry. The book is called Thor, and it's by Whitley Strieber, I believe is his name. Or no, is it Wayne Smith? I don't know. You need to look it up. But it's called Thor, not the Asgardian god. But the whole book is told from, it is Wayne Smith. It's told from the point of view of the dog Thor. So Thor is an Alsatian. In America, it's a German Shepherd. And he lives with his family, which in the book, it's a mom, a dad, and two boys. And her brother, the mom's brother, he's been attacked by an animal in the woods and his girlfriend was killed. And so being a good big sister, she's like, come stay with her. You need to be around family. Like, what are you doing? Come be around your family. The dog knows something's wrong. The dog knows that he is not human. He's a werewolf, and he's torn because he is told that to be a good dog, he needs to protect his family. And he knows this man is dangerous. But he's also told by the family, like, don't do that. Don't be aggressive to him. Don't do that, because he's a big dog. And so he's really trying. It's so heartbreaking. Like, there's a part where he like doesn't eat or anything and stuff because the family turns on him because they think he's like attacking the uncle and stuff. And it's really sad. All he wants to do is to protect them and be a good boy. And at one point he won't even eat. And seriously, this book brought me to tears. But the movie based on it is called Bad Moon. And the movie changes it up a little bit. It's a single mom and her son, same little boy who was in Dennis the Menace. And her brother, it's the same thing. She invites her brother to come live with them, and Thor instantly knows what's up. Thor is like, he is not natural. And the man, her brother, also knows the dog knows. And so there's kind of a war between them. And he needs to try to protect his family without them pushing him away because, like your dog tries to bite your brother or growl at him. You're like, oh, that's a bad dog. They don't know that he's risking his life for them. It's a really good overlooked movie, horribly overlooked movie. I actually think the werewolf is really good in this too.
I'll have to check it out. That's on Shudder. I'll have to check it out.
It's so good. So overlooked. I really like this one. It got a really nice special edition from Screen Factory, which I appreciate. Definitely, if you like it, the book is. I think I got it for $2 on Amazon.
That's not bad.
It's by Wayne Smith. One of my favorite books I've ever read. It's told entirely from the point of view of the dog. If you're an animal lover, it's a must read. If you're a werewolf, fan, it's a must read. I'm not a big person who cries during books or movies. I can count on one hand the number of times I've done it, and that book made me cry. That book was incredibly powerful.
Neil's saying he's gonna give Child's Play another watch.
Neon Black, if you are subscribed to my channel, stay tuned. That's one of the things I'm working on. I've got a really special of the gory details for Halloween coming up, but I am working on the Child's Play one because I get asked a lot, like, Child's Play, really? And I just it's my response as to why. I'm not saying like anybody else's picks are better. I think I love Halloween and Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. If those are your favorites, you are an incredible person because you love horror. But for me, it's Chucky, and it's just my video on why. Why is it Chucky?
Well, I did a ranking video of all the Scream movies, and my number 2 is Scream 3. Nobody really likes that movie.
I like it a lot, actually. I think it's got some of the best acting in the whole franchise.
Me too. And so I might do a video of why it's my second favorite movie.
I love that. I think even when we don't agree, a movie I still don't like it, is Funny Games. I just don't like it.
I never seen it.
It breaks a lot of the rules, but I went to a convention and someone was talking about how they really love the movie. And I think we learn more when we talk to people who disagree with us than when we have people who agree with us. I think it's nice to be agreed with, but I think it's great when we have unpopular opinions. I think when we take the time to listen, we get to learn a little more.
I think so too. Everyone in Blue Moon was pretty decent, but the German Shepherd was the best part of the whole movie. Yes, it was. And is Child Play the franchise?
It's a consistent story from beginning to end. I don't count the reboot in that, but definitely. You guys are really inspiring me to hurry up and finish that video. I've been writing it for a while. So
Neil's saying he's subscribed to you, but he's horrible at leaving comments.
I am the same way because I watch so many channels on my TV. So I watch it, but I'm not commenting because I'm watching it on my television.
It's okay. It happens. I do the same thing. I forget to comment on people's videos. I just hit like. I watch.
Sometimes I also like, I'll go back later on my computer and be like, oh, I should leave a comment because I watched that. And then I can't think of anything to say. And I don't want to be like, that was a good review. So just like.
Well, actually, a lot of people don't realize this. So for the YouTube algorithm, you're actually supposed to be in the live stream for 20 minutes. And you're actually supposed to watch at least 3 minutes of somebody's video. People don't realize that for the YouTube algorithm, because if you just sub to somebody, the algorithm's going to kick it out, and that's how you lose subs.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Sub to sub does not work. And mostly YouTube prioritizes watch time over subscribers.
Yeah, it does. So would you agree that the Evil Dead...
I think Evil Dead, same as Chucky, it's just Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi have raised the baby that is Evil Dead from birth to now. And so I think that's why it's so good. Same with Child's Play. Scream makes me a little sad because the Weinsteins interfered so much that Wes Craven said that even part 4 didn't feel like his movie. And that makes me sad. Trust your filmmakers. You hired them for a reason. But despite the Weinsteins meddling, I do think it is consistently good. But I wouldn't put it quite to the same level as Evil Dead and Child's Play. But it is definitely my top.
I agree with you. I also like Army of Darkness too.
Love Army of Darkness so much. I love the Evil Dead remake so much. It's so good.
I haven't seen
it's so rare that a franchise has a brilliant remake and a great TV show. The fact that Evil Dead did that is phenomenal.
I agree with you. But the Evil Dead is such one of my favorite movies. It's up there.
Love it. It's so good.
You
want a vampire movie?
Yeah.
I feel like you're like, bitch, why you got so many movies?
No, I'm not.
I'm so annoying.
No, you're not. Stop it.
It's a Swedish movie. There was a remake. I do feel like the remake, it kind of did the shot for shot thing. I truly, the remake's good. But I think if you really want to get into this movie, you need to see the original or read the book. The book is really good. But this is essentially about a boy in Sweden who is bullied horribly. And as somebody who was bullied as a kid, I really related to this a lot. And you always imagine, I always thought it would be cool if like Jason would beat up my bullies. And this movie is kind of that fantasy realized because he becomes friends with what he perceives as a little girl in his neighborhood. And they become good friends. And she goes after his bullies. Actually, Ellie is very, very old and isn't even really a girl. It's more of a they-them situation. But very old. And what Ellie does, because they live in the body of a child, they have an adult man who's kind of a pedophile, but uses that to kind of keep that pedophile away from children who would actually be abused. Because this is a very old being. It's older than that guy. And it makes it kill for him. And in exchange, he gets to live with a kid. It's really gross, but it's a dark story. That stuff isn't in the movie so much. The movie tones down some of the parts of it that might be too much for some people, but that is in the book. But this one really focuses on kind of like the love story between this kid in middle school and this really powerful girl he's met who is protecting him. And she's kind of grooming him to be her new person who takes care of her. But she does really care about him, and it's called Let the Right One In. And it does, I mean, you can tell that Ellie genuinely loves this boy. Like at one point, he's like, well, how come you can't go into someone's house without being invited? And she tries to explain to him, he doesn't listen. He does it, and then she starts bleeding from her eyes and her ears and everything. He's like, okay, stop. So these characters really do care about each other. I think it's a really good story, and it is genuinely really scary. So I highly recommend this.
I'll have to check that out. I've never heard of that one, but I like foreign films.
The remake has Chloe Grace Moretz, and it's called Let Me In. Maybe I think more people have seen that one, but I truly believe that this is the superior film. The remake is
yes, Let Me In is a must-see for everyone who likes vampire movies. The remake was so good too. I prefer the original.
I think I have the remake. I'm looking.
That's not to say I don't like the franchise, though. I just because I like them. Yeah, that's okay, Extron. Friday the 13th franchise and Halloween franchise are the least consistent franchises, but the most popular. Yeah, they are. They are.
Another vampire movie I really want to tell you about because we're getting a remake this year, and a lot of one of my cousins actually saw, I think 6 minutes of it at a screener. But Salem's Lot, it's really interesting because Salem's Lot has had 2 TV adaptations, and I think these are both great. This is Toby Hooper's, which Barlow is one of the scariest fucking vampires of all time.
Yes,
This is based on Stephen King's novel about an author who's kind of traumatized by events from his childhood. He goes to his childhood home of Salem's Lot, and he remembers like a man like hanging himself from the porch of his home, and these vampires that get into that house, they slowly take over the town. It's really scary. I'm trying to keep it kind of vague, but he eventually teams up with a young boy, and they become kind of like vampire hunters. The book is really terrifying. The movie is great by Toby Hooper. Then there was a TV movie that had Rob Lowe, who is just gorgeous, and Donald Sutherland in it. This is also really great, very unsung. I think they're both terrific. But I've heard that the footage scene of the new one coming out of theaters, the first theatrical adaptation of Salem's Lot, people I've talked to who've seen it are blown away. That might be my most anticipated movie of the year. I am so excited because that book has so many things in it that are bone chilling that didn't make it into either of these adaptations. So I'm really excited.
I will have to check out the book and the movie. I have not read that or seen the movie.
My mom is really scared of this movie because there's a part where a little boy is killed because they basically start infecting everyone in this town, children even. And this little boy's friend is floating outside his window. I think Buffy got some inspiration from that. He's tapping on the window. And I guess she had a branch that would tap the window. But he's asking to be let in. Very, very scary. But definitely this one's good too and overlooked.
Cohen's is saying, Corey, what was the movie you recommended on one night where a cat climbs out of a person's mouth? I forgot.
My favorite B movie is called Uninvited. Uninvited. Stupid title. Brilliant movie. Uninvited by Graydon Clark. 1980.
I'll be right back.
I'm going to sneeze. 1987. So Uninvited by Graydon Clark from 1987. That movie is a gem. It is a gem. I don't know what Telegram is. Have I seen Return to Salem's Lot with Tara Reid? I have not, but I really should. Yeah, Neon Black, I agree. Toby Hooper's Salem's Lot is so good. Barlow is incredibly scary. That part where he takes the parents' heads and he like knocks them together. Oh, it's so good. Hellraiser, unfortunately, yeah. What happened with Hellraiser is when a franchise is desperate to keep the rights, a lot of times they'll buy spec scripts, which are movies that are not even written to be part of that franchise, and then they adapt them to make them part of the franchise. And every movie after 4 in Hellraiser, up until Revelations, was a spec script. So, that's kind of like what I'm talking about. Like that franchise, it has some great, great movies in it. Obviously, Hellraiser is incredible, but a lot of that franchise is just about keeping the rights. It's really kind of soulless, which is sad.
I like Hellraiser too. My dad really liked that movie, so that's like one of the first horror movies I watched too.
Yeah, the first 4 are great, and even some of the ones that were based on spec scripts are pretty good. But compared to other franchises where a lot of love has gone into it, like Chucky and Evil Dead, it doesn't hold up.
Toby
Hooper.
Yeah.
He did Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist, and he did the television adaptation of Salem's Lot, which is really scary. If you look at Barlow there, he is just terrifying.
Oh, yeah. He is. Sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing stuff sometimes.
Oh, honey, you're fine. I got you.
I have dyslexia and I have a learning disability. A lot of people don't know that. So sometimes when I say stuff or read stuff, I read it wrong or say it wrong.
My brother Zigma has pretty severe dyslexia, so I understand. You kind of gotta like it's almost like interpreting hieroglyphics.
So I got made fun of a lot in school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Chucky season 2. Me neither.
Me too. So excited. I interviewed at Crypticon. I interviewed Fiona Dorff, who plays Nika, and Christina Elise, who plays Kyle, and I'm so excited.
That's awesome.
It was I was fangirling so bad.
Have you seen Return to Salem's Lot with Tara Reid?
I have not.
I haven't seen that either. Sorry for a weird question, but do you upload movies or TV series on Telegram? I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
Never say that
What?
word. What did I
I don't
say,
know.
Sean?
I don't know. It was before you went offline.
Oh, I was telling you I had to use the bathroom, and he was like, "Don't say that." I think, but I tell my guests if I have somebody on my channel, I tell them I'll be right back.
Oh, honey, I can talk for forever. I got you.
You know, because I had to use
I
the
talk
bathroom. I
too
drink
damn
too much
much. Is
water.
what I do.
4 never gets old.
I really love 4. 4 is unsung.
Uninvited was the garden.
It's Uninvited was great, and Clark, who also did Joysticks. That's the director. He that also had Uncle Rico in it.
I have that on my watch list on Letterboxd, so I will have to check it out.
So I want to give you another werewolf movie. One werewolf movie I really like and not enough people have seen, and you need to forgive the budget. This is a TV movie, so do not expect big special effects. But the story of this, I mean, it struck me when I first saw it, and I think about this all the time. And it's very rare that you watch a movie where you think about it that much. This is called Blood Moon. This was a TV movie.
I've seen that.
Curry in it. Oh, I love this. And basically, this girl she's covered in hair. She's kind of like a wolf girl, but she's so sweet. She's got such a good heart. And everyone who works in the carnival, the traveling carnival, loves her. But all she focuses on is how she's covered in all of this hair and how she's so different. And she gets made fun of by the people in town. They show later on that the kids in town, they're only doing it because they have their own insecurities. But basically, she finds out as she, kind of gives into like the wolf in her. Then the more animalistic she is, the more she like attacks people and stuff, the more human she looks. So then her hair starts to go away and she looks like classically beautiful. But it's interesting because she was most humane when she was covered in hair. At the end of the movie, she's this gorgeous, I guess by our society standards, gorgeous. I think she's gorgeous the whole movie. She's this gorgeous girl, but she's completely feral, naked, and running through the woods. She has no humanity. So I think it really questions our ideas on like what is beauty and what is more important. And I just think it's really beautiful. I think the girl in this is incredible. Tim Curry's incredible. It also has, I think, one of the Ashmores is in it. Really good though. Not enough people have seen this one. Blood Moon.
I like that one. It's a great story. I think a lot of people need to realize that you just have to find beauty within yourself and within others, because otherwise, that's what I like about some of these werewolf movies. Because they might be not attractive or anything, but certain parts of that person would be, and that's what I got from that movie.
That movie, when she's covered in hair, you really sense this like really pure soul in her. And I think she is beautiful because it radiates from within her. But she becomes more like what our society would deem beautiful by the end of it. But she's scary. There's nothing but like blackness behind her eyes. She's purely an animal. And so she doesn't have that inner beauty radiating out from her. And I think it makes us question that. It makes us question the things that we consider to be attractive and how much we value certain things.
I agree with you. Good. Yeah, you guys check it out if you haven't. I think
I'm very happy that you've seen it.
The Night Frighter is really good. Stephen King vampire film.
My dear, do you mind if I excuse myself and go to the little Gory's room?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'll be right back.
Gory, would you? No, I would not want LL Cool J to come back in that one. I'll ask Gory when she comes back, but no. I would not want Busta Rhymes to come back either. Bones, you're silly. Would not want either one of them to come back. They can challenge Mikey to a rap battle. Or Eminem. What? Y'all are just going crazy now. I would like to imagine Pinhead in the space when it happens. with Noise 2 and clarifies they didn't work out with Jess and Lisa. I haven't seen Noise 2.
Oh, what are you guys talking about? Oh, he's talking about. I'm here just in time. That's Nosferatu. I think he's talking about. No, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is what he's talking about.
Oh, okay. They're asking. Extron asked you if you wanted LL Cool J to be back in Halloween Ends.
I loved LL Cool J. I think it's so cute how he was like writing his romance novel and stuff. I loved his character. I would love to see him back. But
I
he
don't
wasn't talking about the
know.
one I thought he was talking about, but Nosferatu, which is a series, is based on the Joe Hill book. Joe Hill wrote the book Nosferatu, but also did like the Black Phone, which just had a movie. That one's a really good series too. It's this guy, he becomes kind of like a vampire, and he has this car, this wraith, and he thinks he's saving the children. He takes them to a place called Christmas Land, but it kind of like feeds on their soul, and they become these like soulless little like demons. It's a really good book and a good series.
I'll have to check that out. I loved the show Gory. Did it get canceled?
I think it just finished because it ends with where the book ends, and I think they just decided that was a good place to stop.
Right. There's like so many good books and so many good movies.
I want to recommend a book to you. There's never been a movie adaptation, but I really love Richard Lehman. I'll recommend 2 books to you. Richard Lehman, he wrote a book called The Stake, which is really an interesting vampire story, and I really think it should be a movie. Essentially, this group of friends, this 2 couples, they find this body with a stake in it. And the whole movie, it's like, what happens if you take the stake out? And they think it might be a vampire and it might come to life. And there's all these other things going on, but it's like building to this crescendo of what happens when you take the stake out. And what happens is actually really cool. That was a great book. And another one, a werewolf book. Gosh, what is the author's name? I'm going to look it up for you really quick because I really love it. I actually got detention for this book when I was in 5th grade because I read it, but it's good.
Jason Voorhees showed us how to handle someone who thinks they have skill in.
But there's a book called The Wolf's Hour by Robert McCammon, and it's about this guy who, as a child, he's having a picnic with his family, and the Nazis come and they kill his family. It's set during World War II. And he's left there completely alone, and a werewolf pack actually finds him and adopts him. So he's raised for this werewolf pack. That's why I got attention, because at one point, he's kind of coming into his sexuality, and he has an erection when he sees a girl in the water. Teacher read that over my shoulder, and they thought it was not appropriate for a 5th grader. At any rate, he grows up and he ends up becoming this werewolf who hunts Nazis. So he's like a James Bond werewolf who hunts Nazis. It's the coolest fucking book. It's horror, it's action, it's so fucking good. Wolf's Hour by Robert McCammon. Check it out.
Okay, I will.
Be a movie.
So what do you think of the Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? I thought it was pretty good. It was all right.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Super like stuck with me as much as some other ones, but it was good.
I read the book. The book's a lot better than the movie. I like the book better. I think
it's creative, definitely.
I was like interesting when I started watching this. I was like, huh, this is gonna be interesting. How is Lincoln a vampire hunter?
I also saw an Abraham Lincoln versus zombies, and it's a little hard because I mean he was a real person and stuff. So to a degree, you're just like, it's so hard to do that and still be respectful. I think because he was a great man, but I think both of them showed respect to him and were still creative. So I do think they were good.
That's kind of like that. What is it? Pride and Prejudice.
Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. Yeah. Those ones. I think the Abraham Lincoln ones were slightly better, but those were fun.
I haven't seen the Pride and Prejudice ones because Pride and Prejudice is one of my favorite non-horror movies and book. So I just I have
the book, and I love, I was an English major in college, so I love the book, and I feel like the book Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies kind of misses the point of the book, in my opinion. It's fun though. It's fun. It's kind of gimmicky. But if you're a big fan of Pride and Prejudice, you're going to be like, you kind of like whoosh, the point of that book went over your head. I don't think the zombies really did anything to help the story. I think it was just kind of gimmicky. The movie was okay, but I do think the Abraham Lincoln ones are slightly better. This is fine. It's just, it's to pardon the pun, being your channel name. It's kind of a popcorn book. It's just entertainment.
Jason Voorhees showed us how to handle someone who thinks they have skills in Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason took a boat to Vancouver. Yes.
I got another werewolf movie for you. You want it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want that? You're
Michael comes with
Gory,
Michelle.
calm the fuck down.
No, you're good, Gory.
No, you're way too sweet. You would never be like that.
I would no. I'm a very patient person, and you are not annoying me. I promise. I love it.
Excited, so I don't mean if I interrupt or anything, or if I seem overly zealous. It's just
and then Extron's asking, "Have we seen Prey yet?" I have not watched
Prey.
It.
Oh, honey, you need to watch it. It's so good. It's really good. I think it's one of the best ones since the original.
I was going to watch it the day that something happened, so I couldn't watch it because I'll tell you offline what happened. So
in Wicca, we kind of like, you know how Christians pray for people?
Yeah.
In Wicca, we kind of feel like we need to ask your permission first, but if it's okay with you, I would like to include you in my devotionals, which are like our prayers, and just send some good energy to you.
Sounds good.
All right.
So yeah, you can bring another one. I will watch Prey. I love the Predators. They're so much fun movies, so I will check it out.
You want another movie?
Yeah.
You're just like, how many you got? I got
no,
not that many more. Not that many more. This one is a classic. This is a British movie by Neil Marshall. Neil Marshall's incredible. He did The Descent. But it's called Dog Soldiers. And I love this movie. It's got a little bit of comedy in it, but very British. And they did a lot with a low budget. They had these people who are like dancers, ballet dancers on stilts to be their werewolves. And so the werewolves are really tall and bipedal. Wow. They're gorgeous. They look incredible. Did a great job. But essentially these soldiers are out on like a training retreat. And then they start getting attacked by werewolves, and you really care about these soldiers. You get to know them, and they have this brotherhood where they're not going to let anyone go down. And they end up holding up in this house, and it's just a bad idea because the house is actually the family who are these werewolves.
Right.
It's so good. It's got just a right amount of comedy, great practical effects, which is so rare with modern ones. But and also the only complaint I have with this one is the transfer isn't the greatest. I got this on Blu-ray from Scream Factory, and they promised that they were going to get this better transfer. The transfer is very grainy, but they just released it in 4K, and I've heard they got back to the original negative and cleaned it up. So that's one I definitely want to purchase.
Dog Soldier's great, except for when Sean Penn
shoots the dog. See, there's a scene early on in the movie where the commander of this brigade, he's essentially like telling them he has to toughen them up and you have to like shoot the dog and stuff. And so he's like kind of forced into it. Yeah, that part sucks.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I'll have to check it out. I say I'm the basic, what I say is I'm I'm a horror fan, but I'm the like casual horror fan. That's what I say. Because y'all have seen a lot more than I have.
I've seen a few movies. A few. I'm also old, so I've had more time.
Right. But no, I love watching movies. That's what I was doing all day today. I was watching movies.
You know what's my favorite thing? I actually think it's a good kind of bringing that. Oh shit! I dropped one. I dropped two. My favorite thing when I'm sick. Yeah, I think everyone has their comfort things. When I'm sick, nothing quite kind of is that chicken soup for me. Like the old classic Universal movies, or even black and white movies, like The Bad Seed or The Incredible Shrinking Man. One of my favorites though to watch when I'm sick is Dracula, and it's the one that was put on DVD, the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi. I love this movie, and if you watch it with the new score, because originally it didn't have a score by the London Philharmonic Orchestra, it's so good. Originally they just used parts from Swan Lake, but it's so good and so soothing. It's beautifully, beautifully shot. Bela Lugosi is such a presence. Still a masterpiece to this day. Incredible. Right. I also love a lot of these other ones that are on this set. If you get this set, it's got Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, which is just amazing. Dracula's Daughter is amazing. Great movies on this one.
That's good. Bone saying Knight and Craven are treating me well. Of all the movies that we've watched so far. Neil saying I've seen a lot because I'm 51. I would have never guessed that, Neil. You
That's
look
only
good
10
for
years
you.
older than me.
And then your husband saying I watch horror movies.
He watches the horror movies every day. He's 0 days sober.
Wow.
I also think the Wolfman, I love the old sets and stuff. Lon Chaney
Yes.
he really did that sympathetic villain. Also Frankenstein
Mhm.
is that sympathetic villain very early on. A lot of people again blame Twilight. That's an old thing, that
Right.
sympathetic villain that you pulls at your heartstrings. Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman are both characters who really did that. And he's just such a great character, and a lot of the things
Right.
that we associate with the werewolf mythology, like can only be killed by somebody who loves them, the silver.
Right.
A lot of it came from this movie,
That's
and it's an incredible
yeah,
film.
I like that movie. It's a very good one. I
There's
like
some other ones
Wolfman. I like
on
all of
here. If you can watch the original Werewolf of London, that one's really good. It's a little more of a Jekyll and Hyde story, but it's great. I
Mhm.
also really like She-Wolf of London, which is more psychological, but more
Mhm.
people need to see it. It's very good.
I will have to check it out. I love psychological thrillers and stuff
Get
like that.
this set. These Universal sets are incredible. You get such value for your money. I got these on DVD. They have them on Blu-ray now too. But you get like 5 or 6 movies per each one. There's a
That's
Dracula one, there's a Wolfman one, there's a Frankenstein one, a Creature of the Black Lagoon one, Invisible Man one, Mummy one. They're all terrific.
right. Yeah, I'll have to check all those out. They look really cool, and I like the. I always am the type of person that likes a good like DVD or slip cover or cover
Yeah.
art.
This was the original slipcover look they had. I only have 2 kind of like this one. And then the rest of mine are the more modern one, which is how the Blu-rays look. But I
Right.
got them all on DVD. With black and white movies, I don't necessarily need to have them on like Blu-ray and stuff because I feel like there's only so much you can clean it up, and a little bit of grain is good for those old ones, in my
I agree
opinion.
with you. The monsters are movie classics. Yes, they are. It seems they don't get much love anymore. Yeah,
And
I
it's
agree.
sad because Hammer Horror reinvigorated it. They're like, we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna do it in color with tits and blood. And it completely reinvigorated the classic monsters.
Yeah.
And nobody's really been able to do that quite since. We're going to do that dark universe, and it kind of failed with the Mummy before he even got started. I
Right.
really hope they keep trying though, because I think these
Me
are
too.
timeless stories, and they deserve to be reinvigorated. I think the Invisible Man remake was really good. So
It was. I liked that one.
yeah,
I
I really
watched
hope
it
they do
and I was
more.
like, huh, this is an interesting take on
Yeah.
Invisible Man because it's one of my favorite ones from back in the
These
days.
are timeless stories, and I think when we continue to adapt them and bring them back, they find new audiences.
I think I agree with you because Extron, he's a young kid and he loves like all these kind of like
Oh,
movies
is
and stuff.
Extron young? I didn't know. Extron, I talked to a lot, but I didn't actually know how old they were.
Yeah, he's like 16.
Oh my god, that's adorable. That's younger than
Yeah.
my baby. That's younger than my baby, Extra. My baby's turning 18 next month.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to just adopt Extron too. I adopt everybody. I'm kind of like the horror mama.
you could be my older sister. How does that sound?
I love older sister even better.
I don't have any sisters. I have 2 brothers, so you could be my older sister.
I have 2 brothers and 2 stepbrothers, so I love this idea.
I just rewatched. I haven't seen that.
The original 1922 Nosferatu. It's the one where he's more like bat-like. I don't have that one on Blu-ray, but it's really good. Also, if you like Joe Bob Briggs on Shudder, he covered it. It's a classic. It's a German expressionism at its best. And we're so lucky to have that movie because the Bram Stoker estate,
Right.
because it borrowed from Dracula, they demanded that the film be destroyed. And almost all copies were, but a private collector still had one, and that's why we still have it. Then in the 70s, there was a remake with Klaus Kinski that's also really good. It was also covered on Joe Bob Briggs' Last Drive-In. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous film.
Right.
Both of those are incredible.
You know what movie reminds me of Frankenstein? Night made Craven and I watch it. Frankenhooker.
I am such a Frankenhooker fan. I just did a collab. One of my very best friends on YouTube is the Movie Massacre Show. He's a little raunchy for some, but he had me do the fun facts on his Frankenhooker review. I love Henenlotter. I love
Oh,
Frankenhooker.
you have to go watch the replay, and you know the part where the prostitutes or whatever are in the hotel room and they start exploding.
Yes.
I had to actually have my phone ready to call 911 because Steven and Knight, like Steven couldn't stop laughing. He was like so out of breath. I'm like, do I need to call 911?
So good. Henenlotter also did Basket Case 1, 2, and 3.
I haven't
And
seen
he
Basket
did
Case.
Brain Damage, which are also really, really good. If you like Frankenhooker, check this out as well.
Knight said he was going to make us watch either Brain Damage or we ended up watching Reanimator that night.
I love Reanimator too. Brain Damage is about like a parasite that looks like a dong. It attaches to people and you get like a euphoric sensation from it, but it's draining your energy. So it's got kind of a drug parallel. And then Basket Case is about two conjoined twins who were separated against their will when they were children. And in the first one, they're going after the people who committed the surgery.
Oh, wow.
But it goes into some weird directions and it's really fun.
Kevin's saying, yeah, I love those Universal Monsters sets so much. They have all the great documentaries and about the film that they include.
I haven't given you a thumbs up yet, but I'm doing it now. Definitely give our girl Katie here a thumbs up.
Want a date? Got any money?
Want a date? Got any money?
Yeah.
I love
I'm back for a while. Found the part of the stream, but it was worth his reaction. I told you. You have to go back and watch that. I told you.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's hilarious. The watch parties that I've been doing with Knight and Craven are hilarious because Steven has such he's good reaction.
Bashful dude.
Huh?
He gets bashful. We're on some streams with Nancy Ann Ritter, who's super raunchy, and you can just see he's like blushing so much.
It's so funny. I'm just like looking at Steven the whole time just because I want to see his reaction.
He's just precious. Do you want some quick werewolf recommendations?
Yeah.
So I love this one. This is Wolf, and it's more about the idea of a werewolf being only bad if his heart is evil. And this guy is like this publisher who works for a publishing company. He's constantly pushed around, Jack Nicholson, but he's a good man. And so he's not a bad guy as a wolf, but he's blamed for all this stuff. And you find out that there actually is somebody else who is bad. Michelle Pfeiffer's in it. It's a really good story. Great performance all around. It's a gorgeous film. It's really, really good. But he gets involved with Michelle Pfeiffer, who's his boss's daughter. And she's kind of like, wanting to help him, but she's a little afraid because this isn't your typical werewolf story. It's really about the heart of the man who becomes the werewolf. And if you are a bad man, you're going to become a monster. And if you're a good man, you're going to become a wolf. And that's what this movie's called.
Interesting. That looks really good.
I love this one. It's a Canadian classic. This is the Werewolf Wolfpack 2-pack, Wolf Cop. I love movies that have cheesy rap songs or metal songs about the movie. And I love I'm a Wolf Cop. I'm a wolf cop. Yes, white girl rapping. You don't need to hear that. Anyway.
Your rapping's good.
This is so cheesy. This man, Lou Garou, becomes a werewolf. They did make jokes about the fuzz and stuff. It's so cheesy. It's so good. Great werewolf transformation. Great werewolf dong. The sequel's okay, but mostly that first one is just pure gold. Also, this one was covered on Joe Bob's Last Drive-In. So check that one out.
I have to check it out. See, a lot of these movies I'm going to have to check out, and when I review them, I'm just going to tag you in the video.
I really do appreciate it. I love that. To me is really gratifying. One of my first jobs as a young person was working at Hastings, which was a video store, and it meant a lot to me because I would overhear people like, oh, I want a movie that's this, but also this, and I'd be like, oh, I've got the perfect film for you. And they'd come back the next week and be like, that was the perfect film. That was the perfect date night movie or the perfect night with my friends, and you help. Like, that means a lot to me.
The Blockbuster I used to go to, I lived 2 minutes from there. I could walk there, or I could just take the car and it would be there in 1 minute. The people knew me so much that they would just recommend different movies to me. But also because I knew most of the employees and the managers, the night before the release would come out, they would just give me the movie and say,
That's
okay,
so
bring it back the
sweet.
next day. So I got to like actually like, you know, say like when like Scream 2 or 3 came out, I got to actually watch it like the night before it was actually available to rent.
That's kind of what I do on my channel. My job, I don't consider myself a critic or a reviewer. I think those kind of people need to pick apart what's good and bad about a movie. That's not what I want to do. My job is to maybe show you something that you didn't know you love because it was forgotten. Right. It's been overshadowed by something, or maybe it was written off as like cheesy B movie trash, but it's actually exactly the kind of movie that you would love. That it's a movie that needs a second look.
That's what I kind of do on my channel as well. I don't like saying I hate a movie or I just don't like the movie. I mean, like, yeah, I've said it a few times, but I try to find the good in the movie.
The only times I ever really discount a movie is when I feel like it was a cash grab or it was done just to make $1. It was done by business people. Those movies are a little more offensive to me, but you know, like I just did Leprechaun a while ago, and that movie was made with a lot of heart by people who really wanted to tell a story. And I think movies like that deserve a second chance. I love Critters. There's so many great movies.
I've never seen Critters. I have to watch it.
I love it so much. So many great movies that people discount as being B movies or, you know, not high quality. And I think a lot of us fans are missing out by not checking out these films. So I try to give them a spotlight on my show.
That's why that's what I do. I have a lot of people don't know. I watch a lot of Bayview Entertainment movies. I don't know if you know who they are.
I don't.
Okay, so they sent me movies. So they are a low budget like film company. And so they take like movies, foreign films, American films, all different kind of films, and they're like low budget movies with filmmakers that you've never heard of. And so I reached out to them and I told them I can reach this many people on my channel and stuff like that. So I review movies for them, and I review movies I haven't done it in a while for Wild Eye. I don't know if you know.
That's the thing. Making a movie is fucking hard.
Yeah,
you know, my cousin is an actual, his words, not mine, is a Hollywood douchebag. But my cousin wrote the Leatherface prequel. He wrote Hellfest.
I loved Hellfest.
He's worked on some really big movies that he wrote. But it's hard. It's so hard. There's some movies he's had his name taken off of because the story got changed around with so many other writers. Like he wrote the Day of the Dead remake and he hated what it became. So he's like, take my name off of that. But it is hard. My husband's trying to make a short film right now, and it's really
I can't. Danny, when it comes out, let me know because I will watch that.
But you know, I can tell you, just being Seth Sherwood's cousin, like when he wrote that script for Leatherface, even if you didn't like it, he was so passionate to try to share why he thought somebody would be so lost that they would take on the identity of whatever the face they put on. Like he put so much passion into that, and maybe it lost something in execution, but I can tell you he was passionate about telling a story. My husband is working on 2 short films right now, Lulz and another one, and he's so nervous that people aren't going to give it a chance because it's going to be low budget and it's going to be cheap, but he really wants to tell a story. And so
I tell people all the time on my other channel, the channel that I encourage people on, follow your dreams no matter how big or small they may be. And always just be yourself, no matter if you put your work into that project. Just know that you love that project, and that's hard work that you put into it, and you're doing the best you can. Don't let anybody tell you different.
Actually, we're raising money for Lulz. Would it be okay if I put a link to our GoFundMe for that in your chat?
Yeah.
Okay, if you guys want to help out the movie, there is a link.
I'll make you a mod so you can do it.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I've got one more werewolf movie for you. You ready?
Okay.
So this is a British one called Howl, and I think the werewolves in this movie are really scary. They do a good job of putting a lot of them in shadow and stuff. And so these people are on a train, and the train is attacked by werewolves, and it's really, really scary. It's a good story. One a lot of people miss, but I do think it is kind of a hidden gem. It's also got some really funny parts in it. And that's it for my werewolf movies. I got 4 more vampire movies if you want them.
That's good. All right. I just made Danny a mod, so if he could put it down there, and then I have to go into my YouTube studio real quick and make you a mod there.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You want me to give you my vampire recommendations?
Yeah. I can see
So
it
I
because I have it
really
on my
love
phone. I
this
have the
one.
pad up on my
I actually
phone.
have the graphic novel signed by the artist. 30 Days of Night was a great
Oh, I love that movie.
adaptation of the graphic novels. Even the sequel, Darker Days, I thought was really good. But I love Josh Hartnett. I love Melissa George. The vampires in this are really, really scary. And the idea of, a lot of these vampire movies, they're like, let's just make it to daylight. And in this movie, you can't do that. It's pure black for days on end. It's bleak, but it's so beautiful. I think there's something about blood in the snow that's just gorgeous. The effects are great. And definitely, if you like this one, do give the sequel. Where is it? Dun, 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 dun.
All right, now you're a mod, Gory, so you can go ahead and put the link down there.
Yeah. If you've seen this one and you like it, give this sequel a chance. A lot of people didn't give it a chance because they didn't like it as much as this one, but it is true to the graphic novel that it's based on. So they're both incredible. I do love this one more, but they're both very good.
I haven't seen the sequel, but I've seen that one, but I'm not really a big Josh Hartnett fan.
Oh, I love him.
And I'm also not a Halloween H2O fan either, even though that's
love that one too. But it's okay. We don't need to be the same to be buddies. This one is controversial. Mm-hmm. Danny and I love it. I did recommend it to the girls on Freaky Girls Live. They hated it. There are some things about this movie that haven't aged well. A lot of the 90s humor hasn't aged well. There's a character depiction in this that's not very, it's not good. But I do like the overall story, and a lot of the humor is good. So basically, Jason Mewes, who is Jay from Jay and Silent Bob,
yes,
he's an EMT. And he just gets mixed up with these girls who just don't respect him or treat him right. And finally, he just really, because he has this need in him to like take care of people, and people take advantage of that. He finds this gorgeous girl who's in a dumpster, and he thinks she's like a junkie or something. And he tries to get her cleaned up. Well, she's been bitten by a vampire, and he falls in love with her, and he starts trying to help her get victims. But it like tears at his soul, but it's also funny and stuff too. And I think overall it's a good metaphor for like relationships that are kind of toxic, that drain out of you, that are not fulfilling you, that are hurting you. Even if you go into it with all the right reasons, those relationships that kill you from the inside. And I think I thought it was a really good movie. So I like Bitten.
I've heard of that, but I have not seen it. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Some of the supporting characters, I think, like I said, haven't aged well. But overall, I do think it's funny. I do think it has some good messages about toxic relationships, and also understanding that romantic love is not the end all be all. The love of your life may not be a romantic love. It may be your best friend. It may be your child. It may be your career. And that's what this movie is about. How we all kind of seek that peace, and sometimes relationships can be the death of us.
Right. Michael's saying it looks like a good movie. Sounds like a good movie.
It does. Watch it on Tubi. I really enjoy it, and I do think it's funny.
I actually like Tubi a lot because there's so many underrated movies and B movies on there that you wouldn't expect that you would like. I love Tubi.
One I really love, and I love the TV show too, is What We Do in the Shadows. This is a New Zealand film, and it's a documentary of
I have it on my list.
There's these 3 vampires, so lovable, that live together. One is kind of a tribute to Interview the Vampire. One is a tribute to like Gary Oldman's Dracula. There's one that's a tribute to the Twilight. It's really, really great. It has a lot of fun with Lost Boys. And if you love vampire movies, you love this movie. It's so fun. The characters are incredible. And I was nervous when they created a show. I was like, come on. Like, you can't. That was lightning in a bottle. But the show, I think I love the show just as much. It's so good. It's about, these are characters who live in New Zealand. The show is about characters who live in Staten Island. But I love it. Like, you can see you got like your Nosferatu character. They have werewolves, not swearwolves. It's incredible. It's really, truly, truly, truly funny.
Neil's saying he liked the old vampire and What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes, Peter. So Peter is like the Nosferatu type. and he's always in his coffin. They just kind of wake him up to like feed him and stuff, but they love him.
Okay,
you know?
I'm so checking out that movie because it's on my list on Tubi.
One of
I'm
my
so
absolute favorites, and I will tell you, Katie, I rewatch this one all the time. Like it's one of those, you know, those movies you never get tired of.
Yes.
This is that movie. That movie you put on when you have buddies over that you want to just laugh and have fun with. This is
See,
that
I
movie.
wish I lived closer to you because I would just come over and hang out and watch movies with you.
Yes, girl, I would love that. I would love it so much.
You know, do you like Dark Shadows?
I love Dark Shadows. Actually, you know, it's kind of an unpopular opinion because I was too young for the original Dark Shadows that came out before my time. But they did a 90s reboot. And I remember I watched it with my mom. And it was a shame because it got canceled on a cliffhanger. Like she finally found out that he was a vampire. And like to this day, it's one of the most disappointing things ever because I was so.
Do you like the Johnny Depp version of it? Did you see that one?
I watched it with my mom. We were traveling. We were going back home to England. It was okay. It had some funny parts in it. A little too much CGI, but overall decent.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, this movie's a little weird because I remember the 90s show, and then I remember the show back in the 80s, or I think the 80s or the 70s when it was on. I don't remember exactly.
I think it was like the 60s, I believe. But
maybe it was 60s.
The biggest problem with it is it didn't quite capture what the show was about and the tone and feel of the show.
Right. And so when I went to watch the movie, I was like...
Yeah, it was from 1966 to 1971 was the original run.
Okay,
that
yeah.
was before my time. But I have seen it and I do enjoy it.
I've seen it too, and I was just like, so when I saw the movie with Johnny Depp, because I'm a huge Johnny Depp fan, so I watch anything that he's in because I think he's just gorgeous. But I'm like, what the heck am I watching? You know, because the way his makeup was in that movie.
Hello, Kitty.
Hello.
Hello.
Edward Scissorhands.
I just dropped him.
Uh-oh. I love Edward Scissorhands. That was actually the first movie I saw in the movie theater.
Oh, wow.
When I was like 5 or 6. I don't know what parents were thinking taking a 5 or 6-year-old to that movie.
I think, you know, and I did this too as a parent, but my parents watched a lot of horror around me, and I remember bits and pieces of stuff because they didn't think I was paying attention. Your kids start paying attention, I think,
Thank you, Michael.
sooner than you realize. And with my own son, I would do that. I would take him to the drive-in when he was like 2, and we'd watch like the kid movie, and then he'd fall asleep, and I'd go watch Hills Have Eyes on the other screen.
Michael or Danny, if you can you put Corey's channel down below so people can find her?
It's super easy. It's just / Gory B Movie. So youtube.com / Gory B Movie. That's me.
Yes, she has an amazing channel.
Thank you so much.
I love it. And Michael, this is up to you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Because technically on YouTube, you're not supposed to say sub on YouTube. In the chat, you're only supposed to say family member or whatever, or friend, because it will actually take that sub away. A lot of people.
Yeah, I know. And I don't agree with the whole sub for sub thing, but I am somebody where I'm like, if you are passionate about movies, then yeah, you've got a new friend in me.
Right.
Well, one more recommendation for you. This is an anime, and as far as vampire animes go, there's some good ones like Hellsing.
Oh, I love anime.
Vampire Hunter D. I'm not actually an anime fan. I watched some things that I enjoy, like I liked Evangelion, I liked Hellsing, and I like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But my husband introduced me to this one. This is Blood the Last Vampire Hunter, and I think if you're a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, this is one you need to check out. So she goes to an Air Force base in Japan. You know, she's a Japanese student. But yeah, she is there to hunt vampires. It's really, really good. Great story, great characters. It's very similar to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And she gets you know, her own group of friends and stuff. There is a live action movie. The live action movie isn't as good as the anime, but this is definitely one to check out, especially if you love anime. Okay, that's all my recommendations.
Michael's saying you could talk about the S word, but you just can't type it in the chat.
The S word.
Yeah, the S word, yeah. Or you can't say the F word in the chat either.
Considering how I couldn't sleep last night because I told you before the stream I was really stressed. Yeah. I took a 2-hour nap today, and I've had a lot to drink. I think I'm doing okay. I think
that's awesome. Well, if you want to stay on longer, we could talk about anything. I think she just froze y'all. But or did your internet go out? don't know. She froze. So what movies have you guys been watching lately? We'll see if Gory comes back. So what movies have y'all been watching lately? Anything good? And I'll see if Gory comes back. So I watched the first orphan movie, and we'll be having that. I'll be having that review up
I'll watch this
tomorrow
later on.
night.
I'm not super good.
You froze. And so I've been watching that, and I'll have a review with Strange Monkey up tomorrow night. And I have no time for a movie the way I'm working. Oh, I'm sorry, Michael. Vengeance was good. I haven't seen that one. I'm going through the Halloween franchise right now. Oh, that's awesome, Neil. I like the Halloween. It's a great series and everything. Gory's still frozen, so we'll see if she comes back. But yeah, Halloween 78 is my favorite, and then it goes on down the line because everybody knows that I'm a sequel person, not a prequel person. And so Halloween 78 is one of my favorites. I'll have to check out Vengeance. You guys should check out the new Orphan movie, Orphan First Kill. That was an awesome movie. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's on Paramount Plus if you have it. Strange Monkey and I will be doing Danger Zone next week. No problem, Gory. Welcome back.
Okay, sorry about that. My internet kicked out for some reason.
My
now
internet
I'm watching on my phone too.
My internet's been doing that lately too.
Ah, it's so frustrating. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. But I am here.
It's okay. I've rewatched the Hell House trilogy as well as August Underground trilogy. Never seen them.
Neon Black. I've seen the first one. Let me know if the sequels are any good. I'd love to know if they're worth checking out. I did like the first one. And yeah.
Jason is my favorite. I never liked Michael much.
If you do.
Yeah, that's like the top stuff.
It's one of those things, you know how it is when you're subscribed to a lot of channels. I try so hard to watch everybody, but a lot of times I go on my TV and see what pops up and I just watch it. So I miss a lot of stuff and I don't comment as much as I should.
Well, you're a bigger channel. Like I think of you, Night, Craven, Hobbs, Horror, that's in the chat. I don't know if he's still in the chat. I think of you guys as big YouTubers. You guys are a lot bigger than I am. So if I met you guys in real life, I'd probably fangirl over you guys.
You're very sweet. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Gory B for Hell House is the first one is the best.
I really like that one. It had some really
Danny's saying
moments in it.
Werewolves Within.
Yeah, that one is kind of based on the game Werewolves Within, where one of you is a werewolf.
I'll show you guys what I'm going to give away for if I get 500.
Absolutely.
So, if I get 500.
Hey, Charles, thank you.
If I get 500, the return of Gory, yay. If I get 500 subscribers, I'm going to give away this Beetlejuice cup.
Well, I'm already subscribed, so I can't be in that.
No, you can. You just have to go to the video.
Yeah.
And just leave a comment on the video so I can put your name.
I wish I remember how I found your channel. It was through somebody else. It might have been the monkey.
Strange Monkey?
Yeah.
Yeah. It could have been
we
them
have
or
mutual
Night.
Friends though. That's how I found your channel. But yeah, I love it. I love that you are passionate about movies and you really give a lot of movies that I like that you don't go with the popular opinion. If you like something, you like it. If you dislike something, you dislike it. You provide good explanations for it. And I feel like you're fair and you give things a chance. That's why I really like your show.
Like I say, I'm an underrated channel. That's what I say.
I agree. I think you're very underrated. I think you're very charismatic, and I like the topics you cover.
Thank you.
I watch a lot of your stuff. Like I said, I'm a bad friend, and I'm bad at
It,
commenting, but I
it's
watch a lot.
okay. Don't worry about it. I'm bad at commenting too. I'll watch something and I'll forget to comment. I'll like it, but I'll forget to comment.
I have a TV in my bedroom. I have a Roku TV, so I watch a lot of YouTube there, and I'll watch it and I'll go to sleep, and I'm like, oh, I did really enjoy that, and I mean to go and comment, and then
Right.
the next day,
It's
like
okay.
the only thing you can think of is like, oh, good review, and that just sounds like you didn't even watch it. So then I just don't
Right.
say
It's
anything.
okay. It happens. Oh, speaking of Buffy, when I first started the channel,
My
I
heart.
actually reviewed Buffy.
I will have to. I think I missed that one. Oh,
Um,
thanks, Echo. My sister-in-law, Sierra, got me and Danny these for I think Christmas last year. We are big
yes.
Robot Briggs fans.
Neil saying I found Katie through Night Watch Jones chat, and Gory B I found randomly a
Oh,
random
wow.
video.
I'm glad you two recommended me. My channel is very small, so I don't think you guys recommended much.
Right. Yeah, I found you. I think you were on Night Watch Zone or you were on Craven, and I found you that way.
Yeah, we've become this year. I've become really good friends with them.
Yeah, I'm really good friends with them too because I've been on their watch parties because Night and Craven say I have such a kind heart that they wanna
you do.
that they kinda I call them my big brothers.
Yeah, I call them my horror brothers, and they call me their horror sister. Essentially, Night was just streaming, and a lot of times when I'm at work, I work from home on my computer, and I watched it, and I really liked him, so I started watching it. And then from him, I met Craven, and was doing some of their streams. But yeah, it's just they're really easy to talk to.
They're really nice people, and I've gotten to know them on like a personal level. And if I have any questions about YouTube, I just ask one of them or whatever.
Same, you can ask me. I mean, no, I don't have a big channel, but I've been
You
doing
do have a
horror
big
addicts.
channel. You have like over 1,000 subscribers.
About 2,000, but
yeah.
Before that, I was doing horror addicts, and that was at 15,000. So I have been doing it a long time, since 2015. So if you ever need to ask a question, I might have something for you. I don't know.
I can't remember where I met. I think it was Patrick. I think we met through Patrick. Michael, did you just say Nightwish? Great band.
Nightwish, yeah.
I've never heard of that band, but
and I appreciate you because I got some new subscribers today, and I think that's really cool because I think and I tell people a lot, like you kind of cultivate your own audience because even you know, horror addicts, I did that for a while, and Danny and I were similar in a lot of ways, but we are very different. I'm a lot louder and mouthier.
Danny's kind of quiet. I've noticed
he is. He's very dry in his humor, but it was hard. It's hard being on a collaborative channel because somebody might subscribe because they like Danny and then they don't like me. And I would get a lot of comments about my weight, my appearance, and
that's not nice.
It got really hard. Once we got to about 10,000 subscribers, I got a lot. Almost all the comments were about my appearance or my voice or something about how I'm annoying.
That's not very nice. I'm gonna go kick those people's butts.
Somebody told me I look like an orangutan.
That's not nice.
They're mean to my kid. So I decided I wanted to do my own channel because then if someone subscribed, it's just me. So you should know what you're getting. And if I annoy you, then just go watch something else.
Right.
And I wanted to do some stuff that's kind of unique to me. I like kind of like that retro rockabilly kind of thing.
Saying I'm quiet like a ninja.
Yeah, he's
you are quiet, Danny.
But yeah, it's been nice having a small channel because I don't think I've ever gotten a mean comment on the Gory B Movie channel. Everyone's super sweet and supportive.
Yes.
So it's been really great.
I used to get called alien when I was a kid because I had my baby tooth and my big teeth like right there where your fangs are.
Oh my goodness, mine were up really high. I don't know if yours were before I got my teeth fixed.
Yeah. And so people would call me alien, or I would get called turtleneck because I have a long neck, I guess. So they would call me turtleneck.
That's horrible. I got called Dumbo because my giant, massive ears, and I have a giant nose too. So I got called like Beaky and other names.
You're beautiful the way you are.
But mostly people tease me for my accent. When I moved here, I had not even a strong accent. I just had a British accent because I'm from Suffolk, Ipswich, or Ipswich, Suffolk. And so I had a British accent. And this boy, Jeremy Fuller, never going to forget it, used to throw rocks at me every fucking day.
If I was your friend, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? Don't be throwing rocks at her.
I'd throw them back. In high school, people were like, oh, that's kind of cool. Can you do the accent? But I was so traumatized from when I first moved here in grade school, middle school.
They do. I had to shut my stream down one night because I actually had trolls in there, and what they were doing was they were taking screenshots, and they were like, "Oh, look at Katie's double chin and stuff like that."
See, that's what pisses me off because, like, I do try to look nice for my streams, and if you like that, thank you. I put a lot of work into my makeup and stuff. If you don't, I don't need to hear about it because it's not a beauty channel. And what I'm really trying to do is talk to you about film. And if you don't have something to say that's nice or comment on, at least if you disagree with what I'm saying, sure, comment. But if you just don't like the way I look, fuck off.
Nice. Yeah, exactly.
My channel is not about you reviewing my appearance.
Right.
Like, we can talk about movies. We can disagree about movies till the sun comes up. You know, I would love it if you'd open my eyes about a movie that maybe I haven't been fair to. But if your comment is just that you think I'm fat, fuck off.
Exactly. That's what I say too. Like right now, I don't even have any makeup on because
you are beautiful. You have beautiful blue eyes. You have beautiful hair. Fuck anybody who says otherwise. I think you're gorgeous.
Thank you. I went on actually before I met my fiance. We met on Plenty of Fish. Actually, we met online, which is really ironic. But
I met my husband online.
Before that, I got my teeth all fixed, and I went on this date with this guy, and he's like, "I won't date you because of your teeth," and I was like, "That's really shallow."
That's bullshit.
Yeah,
that's real bull. I when I met my husband, I still had braces. I had braces as an adult, but my husband's on the shorter side, and he's told me that about women who wouldn't give him a chance because he's shorter, and it's like he's a really great person. He's really fun. He's very good looking. They missed out. They missed out a lot.
And I was like, okay, well, you're missing out on a nice person because I literally, if Mark was in here, he would tell you, I take care of him. I make sure he's all right. I give him, stuff like that. And I'm like, you're missing out. Whatever.
You're a good person, and that is worth 1,000 times more than whatever idea they have in their head. And you know what? Those people who have these stupid ideas in their head, they usually don't live up to them either.
Exactly.
Because that's the thing. They're fake. They're fake ideas, and nobody can live up to an idea or people.
Right. Exactly. That's what I say. I used
to get teased a lot. I have, as you can see, a massive nose, a massive nose with a big hook in it, and I got teased for that endlessly. And now I'm really happy about it. Like
you're beautiful on the inside out. That's
when I was a kid, I wanted a nose job so bad, and now that I'm older, I'm like, that's what makes me different. That's what makes me unique.
Right.
It's something about me that most other people don't have. It's, something that I have the same nose as my grandfather, and I loved my grandfather so much. I'm proud of that. So, you know what? People who love me are going to love how I look, and they're going to see me for who I am. And people who love you are going to feel the same way.
Exactly. That's how I feel. And that's what I also tell people on my channel, kind of like Craven does. Like, we're here to, you could disagree on me with like whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to be here and loving you guys, loving on you guys.
Yeah, I just want to talk about movies. And, if I did a beauty channel and you want to critique the way I do my eyeliner, fine.
Right.
But I don't.
I don't know how to do eyeliner. So when I wear makeup.
Oh, honey, I don't either.
I just put on mascara.
But, no, I'm talking about movies.
Right, exactly.
That's what I want to talk about. And if you think my opinions suck, by all means, let me know.
I actually had somebody. I did a movie review on King Richard. Did you see that movie? The Will Smith movie.
I heard it's good.
About Will Smith being the
Serena and the
Williams.
Yeah, the Williams.
So I just said the movie was like a little bit too long for myself. It was like 2 hours and something. I think it was 2 hours and like 30 minutes or something. And I just said in the review, it's a little bit too long for me. And I got this guy saying, that's wrong of you to say that it's too long of a movie. And I said, I didn't say it was too long of a movie. I just said it was too long of a movie for myself.
Too long for you.
Yeah.
You are a unique individual. And you're saying, and that's the thing with reviews and stuff. I don't know if any of us is really the pinnacle of like, oh, wow, they've got it right. But what happens is after a while, you cultivate an audience and people are like, you know what? I like Katie. I noticed that my taste fits with Katie's. And so they trust you. When Katie says the movie's too long for me, they're like, you know what? I'm pretty similar to her. It's going to be too long for me too. And so you absolutely should say your opinion. You know, whereas like I also follow a lot of people who we have very different opinions, and I'll be like, yeah, maybe they didn't like it, but I probably will.
But that's okay though. We can agree to disagree, and it's a healthy debate. Like Craven says, it's a healthy
Danny
debate.
had a stream with Mr. Flickster, and they got into. I really don't like the Child's Play remake, and I got really passionate in the chat, and to the point where somebody messaged me, and they're like, "Wow, I hope I didn't offend you." I'm like, I love talking about movies, and we're just talking about film. It's just movies. It's not. It doesn't change how I feel about people. I just want to talk about movies, and even if we
that's how I am. I guess I'm lucky. Worst comment I ever got on a video was from a guy who offended that I didn't like the Solo.
Yeah, it's a really graphic movie.
But serious people who say they all hate of you shit to you girls can play in traffic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Neil. Neil, you could be like my big brother. You could be like my bodyguard.
It's hard, and I'm very blessed that on my new channel, which is, you know, pretty small compared to Horror Addicts, you know, everyone's been super sweet.
Yes, everybody, like anytime I go into your chat, everybody's so welcoming. They don't really know me there, but they're so welcoming.
I call my the people who join my chat in the Gory Hall, I call them the weirdos, like we are the weirdos, mister, just because I feel like I appeal to people who also don't fit in.
Right. I need a, like a tagline. I have to come up with a tagline. I don't have one, but I need to come up with one.
I think you'll come up with something organic. I mean, I used to go with like witches, and then I was like, you know, the weirdos. I think that's what I want to go with.
Just like Carrie has film geeks or something like that. She says.
Yeah. You know, it's organic. The Gory Hole wasn't even my idea. It was people in the chat, because I'm also friends with Count Dracula, and they call his chat the Slut Pit. And I was on an F of his streams, so like, we need to come up with one for Gory, and they came up with the Gory Hole, and I'm like, that's hilarious. Now I call everybody in the chat, I call it the Gory Hole.
Right, yeah, and your chats are super, super fun. If you guys haven't checked out her channel, you should, because Sunday nights are so much fun.
Sunday night fight night! Sunday. Oh, main event tonight, this weekend, Katie. I hope you can check it out, because I'm excited that Jason is going to go up against Michael Myers. I'm stoked.
Well,
the first fight is Leprechaun against Chucky and Tiffany.
Well, I'll probably pick Chucky over that one. On that one,
Freddy versus Candyman.
Candyman and who?
Freddy versus Candyman.
Oh, interesting.
It's gonna be some good fights.
Oh, I liked your when you did Sam against, I forgot who it was, but
my son.
Yeah, no, from Trick or Treat.
Yeah, Sam from Trick or Treat. He went against Lols. I can't remember who else he went against.
Yeah, I love Sam from Trick or Treat. I think he's just so cute. When I went to Halloween Horror Nights, I actually went to Halloween Horror Nights when I lived in Florida. And I went into that house, and it was so cool to go into that house.
I've never been, and this year is mine and Danny's 2-year wedding anniversary. So we're going to go do the RIP tour in Hollywood. Our wedding anniversary is October 13th.
Oh, nice.
But we're going to go in September with our buddies, and I'm really excited. And they're going to have a Killer Clowns maze, Katie!
Oh, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome. So I could tell you, because one of my friends live in California. I have a couple friends really, but she's been to the Halloween Horror Nights there. So it's different from the one in Orlando, because some of the ones that are there are.
Yeah, I don't think Orlando gets the Killer Clowns this year, which is a bummer for them.
Well, so usually Orlando's a year behind.
I have friends and family there. My cousin who wrote the movies, he's there, and a good friend of mine, TC, lives there. So I think that'll be fun. And
so what I say is, okay, so the one in California is a little bit smaller because they use a lot of those sound stages for movies and shows and stuff. So the ones in Orlando, they can do like a little bit more, like they can incorporate a little bit more, because a lot of those sound stages aren't used anymore.
I see. I'm very far away from Florida because I'm in Washington State.
Yes. So that's the difference. But I mean, like, they're still good because it's Universal and they put on really good makeup and everything else.
There's a La Llorona maze. There's a Scarecrow one. There's one that's like a train stop, and then it goes into Jordan Peele's Us and Nope. There's Killer Clowns. The
Killer
Weekend's
Clowns
doing
from Outer
something.
Space.
Yes.
Oh, I love Killer Clowns from Outer
Oh, I'm
Space.
so excited about that one. The videos they make for those are so fun. Like for the
Mhm.
mazes, I think they're really fun.
The first time I actually watched that movie for the first time a few months ago, and I couldn't get over the fact that you could see the zippers and the clowns.
I love movies like that. I mean, that's why I'm Gory B Movie. It was my roller
Right.
derby name just because I love cheesy horror B movies. I find
Right.
it
No, I do too, but I just thought it was funny though that that because it was a 90s film, but they kept the zipper, like you would think they would hide it.
I think it adds to the charm.
I thought it was a cute movie though. It was a fun movie. I actually watched
It's a good intro to horror movie.
Yeah. I actually watched Howard the Duck for the first time a few months ago too.
Oh, Katie, my heart. I love Howard the Duck. I love the comics. I love the movie. Oh, I love it.
Because he was in a lot of Marvel movies that I was watching.
Yes, he's a Marvel character. One of my favorite Howard the Duck things in the comics is he goes undercover as a regular duck, and so people feed him bread, and he gets really, really fat, and his friend's like, you got really fat. And he's like, well, how did I get fat? All I did was eat bread all day. And his friend goes, bread makes you fat. He's like, what? So funny.
Yeah. So I watched that for the first time, but it's not as nostalgic to me as it would be to you because I didn't grow up in that era. But it was a good movie though. It was fun. You know.
I'm a vampire. I've been around for forever.
Yes. But you know, it was a fun movie because I was watching What If, and he was mentioned in What If in Marvel, and then he was also mentioned in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did you know Howard the Duck killed Ash Williams, from Evil Dead in the comics?
No, I didn't know that.
He did in the Marvel Zombies comics.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. I did not know that.
I am full of useless facts.
Hey, I love it.
I love How I Met Your Mother, how Ted, they go to the Empire State Building. He's like, fun fact. I'm like that with horror movies to the point that I think it's kind of annoying. But
I love it though because like a lot of the movies that you review on your channel, some of them I've never heard of, and I've gone back and checked them out just because of your recommendations.
I've had a special one coming up for Halloween that I hope people like, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to do Satan's Little Helper, which I think is really good.
I've never seen that.
It's an awesome one, so absolutely.
I've never seen Black Christmas either.
Oh, that's a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm. And then what's that other one? Oh, what's that other one that people say that's really good? It's a Christmas horror. Let me see if I can find it. I've never seen it.
There's 3 Black Christmas ones, though. I think the first one's the best by far. Santa's Sleigh?
I haven't seen that one.
Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Yes, that one. I haven't seen that.
The Santa Claus Killer.
Yeah. But I did like Krampus, though.
There's a few other ones.
I did like Krampus, though.
Yeah, Krampus is good. And like Danny said, Black Christmas was Elvis's favorite movie. He'd watch it every year. I love that one. I think it's so ahead of its time. It has brilliant characters.
Right. I did not know that that was one of Elvis's favorite movies. And
yeah,
I like
watch it every year.
That's awesome.
It's also funny. Black Christmas was done by Bob Clark, who also did another famous Christmas movie, Christmas Story.
Oh, I love A Christmas Story.
Guy. He was actually working on doing another Black Christmas movie when, unfortunately, he and his son were killed in a car accident.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. But yeah, Christmas Story is one of my favorites. Christmas Story, the original one. Oh, Black Christmas, the original one.
My mom says it traumatized me as a kid because then whenever my brothers would get toy guns, I'd be like, you're going to shoot your eye out.
Right? Yeah, that movie's such a classic Christmas Story.
It's so good.
I think this year I'm going to try to do 25 Days of Christmas.
But if you love the Christmas Story, a lot of that same humor is in Black Christmas.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to check it out.
It has really great characters. It's really good, and it's really scary.
Because I'm thinking about doing a red ribbon.
Red Ryder BB gun?
Yeah.
I need to go to the little Gory's room again.
Okay.
Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right.
But yeah, I'll have to check out Black Christmas because I haven't seen that. But I do love Christmas Story. I also really like. There's like a lot of movies that I like that I've really seen. But they're not all horror. A lot of them are sci-fi too. I really like Dracula Untold. Have you guys seen that one? I always get Silent Night, Deadly Night confused with Silent Night, Bloody Night. I haven't seen those. Well, I haven't seen any of those, so I think Deadly Night, isn't that the one where like his grandfather's like dead, in a retirement home or something, and then the boy like kills the parents or something like that? Isn't that one? I don't know. I could be getting it wrong.
Come here, want to see my friend?
Aww.
This is my familiar and my best friend, Brocky. He's
hi, puppy.
Brocky from Guar. Say, it's
hi,
up, baby. You say hi to Katie?
Baby.
Up here.
Hi, baby. He's so cute.
His brother is Brewster, I told you about earlier. He is my familiar, though. He's a good boy.
The best thing about Xmas is the holiday horror movies. Yes. I actually, this year on, not sure, I get them confused. The one that I watched for Thanksgiving, it's on Hulu.
Black Christmas?
No, it's not Black Christmas. Neil is saying I always get Silent Night, Deadly Night confused with Silent Night and Bloody Night.
I like Christmas Evil too. That's a good one.
No, I was talking about so on Hulu, they have this like raw like streamline or whatever, and there's this movie called Pilgrim, and I watched that for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, that's on Shudder. That's Shudder, I think.
No, it's
Shudder had a short film called Shudder had a short film called Pilgrim, and it's about two guys dressed as pilgrims who go to someone's door and they get like killed.
Yeah, this one's like
might be a different Pilgrim.
This is what is it? The Dark something on Hulu. If Bones is here, I don't know if Bones is still in the chat. Rare Imports is decent little Christmas horror movie. I haven't seen that. Oh, he's so cute.
Oh, Rare Imports is so good. That one, essentially, you find out that this like company in Norway, they basically send all the Santas out, that they have to catch them in the wild and train them to not hurt children. It's really good.
Oh, he just wanted to be with his mama.
My baby. Can I brag about you for a little bit?
Yeah.
So I know one of your favorite movies is Rob Zombie's Halloween, and like I said on my channel, I really try to. I mean, I'm not saying we don't do criticism, but I really try to focus on like what makes a movie good. Why do people who love it like it? So that if you don't like it, maybe you'll give it a second chance, or if you do like it, you're like, okay, somebody else feels that way. Because when I was a kid watching like Joe Bob Briggs, it was so nice to have someone to be like, oh no, the Friday the 13th films are good. I'm not a total fucking idiot or weirdo, right. You know? To have somebody validate something that I loved so much. And so I try to do that on my show, and I'm really happy that you're going to be on my show September 7th. It's a Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to talk about Rob Zombie's Halloween with Nightmare Crypt. I'm so excited.
I don't know who Nightmare Crypt is, but I'll check out
Romero from Nightmare Crypt. He's a really great channel.
Yeah, I'll have to check him out.
You guys are going to be buddies. He's great. You love him.
I will go sub to him after here.
That makes me happy because you're going to make a new buddy.
Yeah, I try.
Also, Rare Imports has 2 short films attached to it. You can find those on YouTube. They're really, really good. Yeah,
I'll have to check it out. There's a lot of movies that I need to check out. There's a lot of horror movies that I haven't seen.
My favorite Christmas movie, I think, though, horror Christmas movie would be Deadly Games. It was Home Alone before Home Alone. This kid calls this number, and it's like you call Santa Claus, and you get to ask for like what you want for Christmas. It's a French film. And he accidentally gets a hold of like this homeless guy because like these numbers are like, you know, just run by people like out in the city. And the guy comes to his house, like the kid's very, you know, well off. And he and his grandpa are hiding out from this maniac who's in his house, but he has all these toys and stuff. And, you know, he uses them to kind of fight back.
Right. Oh wow.
It's really good. It's called either Deadly Games or Dial Code Santa Claus.
I
And
will
it's
check
on
it out.
Shudder, which for $4.99 a month, well worth the money.
Oh, I like Shudder. I watch a lot of stuff on Shudder. So
I'm on my
this is the
daddy. Look at this man. He's a baby.
he's so cute.
And he's so important because he's a familiar. So he's basically like a little baby witch.
He's so
I know
cute.
some people have like, like cats and stuff for familiars, but terrier dogs, so unsung. So good.
So this is the movie Pilgrim I'm talking about.
I don't think I've seen that one. I've only seen a short film called Pilgrim, but I know I've heard of what you're talking about.
It's
Is it
on the
I feel like what is that series called? Into the Darkness, right?
yeah, it's on Hulu.
Yes, Into the Dark, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to see that one.
I really like Rob Zombie's Halloween because it's Rob Zombie and also because no one does the carnage like he does.
Katie,
Yes.
are you excited for the new Monsters that he's doing?
Yes, I am.
I like Rob. I think Rob Zombie's kind of an acquired taste, but I do really like him. I do think he should collaborate more with the writing part. I think he takes on too much.
I think so too.
I think he needs some help with the writing sometimes, but his cinematography is terrific and he has great ideas. I just think he needs to kind of collaborate a little bit more with some of the writing stuff.
You're funny, Danny. I'll have to give Pilgrims a chance. Words of my ancestors.
My husband's Native American, so that's what he's saying. He's out of Peoria.
Yeah, check it out. And let me know what you think of it, Danny. Because
which, by the way, being that my husband's Native American, he gave the seal of approval to praying that he thought it was really respectful to Native American peoples, because a lot of times when they show Native people in a movie, they'll settle with like people who are Latino or something who just kind of pass, and they actually got real Native actors to play the parts, which is good because there's so few parts available for them. And that's something else I want to commend Twilight for. When they did Eclipse, they insisted that I guess the girl from High School Musical wanted to be in it, and they're like, no, I'm sorry, but we're gonna just give these parts to actual Native actors because there's so little call for them in Hollywood. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, Devil's Rejects was really good, and A House of 1,000 Corpses was really good.
House of 1,000 Corpses is probably that, and Lords of Salem are probably my favorites.
I haven't seen the second one you said, but I've seen the first one.
Lords of Salem's a great witch one. It kind of falls apart in the third act, but overall it's great.
Right. That's what happens with a lot of movies.
I feel like he kind of does the Stephen King thing where sometimes his endings kind of fall apart, but overall he has a good vision.
Right, yeah, I do too. That's why I like I didn't like the second Rob Zombie Halloween movie, but I like the first one.
You know what's funny? Here's the thing, Katie. And I'm excited for that stream because I, like everybody else, I didn't get it. I was like, this is a shitty ass Michael Myers movie. And then I watched it recently, and I watched it as a Laurie Strode movie. I watched it as a movie about PTSD. And here's the thing: when people are really hurt, it's not like in the movies. When people are hurt, sometimes they get ugly, and sometimes when people are hurt, they lash out against people they love, like Laurie does. Sometimes they focus on helping other people. And sometimes they get mean, like Loomis does. But I feel like that movie was very much a great film about recovering from trauma and how we deal with it in different ways. And those ways are not pretty. In real life, those ways are not pretty. And it was a great Laurie Strode movie. I know it's not the best Michael Myers movie, but I think it's really good.
I do too.
It's one of my favorites.
I actually like
from being one of my least liked to one of my absolute favorites with a rewatch. So give it a chance.
I actually liked the reason why I liked it so much. I'll tell you, and then I'll tell you on your stream, is because you get the backstory of how Michael turned into Michael Myers, who Michael Myers is, and I liked how he came up with the backstory of his childhood and stuff. Yeah,
I think that one's. I mean, I think they're both valid, but I feel he said a lot with the original Halloween that the Weinsteins really meddled a lot.
Yeah, you can block them, Michael.
Enough of what he wanted to. I tried to do it myself too. He didn't get to do enough of what he wanted to do, but with Halloween 2, they gave him a lot more free reign, and he got to be creative with it, and so it's very different. But I really like when an artist tries to tell a unique story and tries to do something different, puts their heart and passion into it, rather than when a lot of times filmmakers play it safe and they release something that they know is going to be commercially viable, but it's soulless. Like I feel that way about the Child's Play remake. I feel that way about, a lot of some of the horror movies, that come out.
I haven't seen 31, and that's on Tubi.
31's okay. I like a lot of the performances in it, though.
Meg 69 is here. Yeah, I see that. We got him.
I blocked and reported and hid, and I did all the things.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I got you, Katie.
Well, who was it? It was on Craven's stream. He's like,
I'm your big sister, right?
Yes. You know what he did? He clicked on the sex bots, and I was like, why did you do that? Craven did that.
It's always the sex bots on my streams too. You get like 4 of them at a time. They're really annoying.
And then Val. You know who Val is, right?
Yeah. Val. I can't remember her last name. Jawolinsky or something like that.
Yeah. So I blocked her one night. I was like going through the comments, I accidentally blocked her.
Yeah, it happens. I've had friends accidentally block somebody before, and it's hard.
And I'm like, I'm so sorry, because the chat was like popping, because I don't get that many people on my chat, so I don't know how y'all bigger channels do it, and so what happens is it was like a chat like that, and I accidentally blocked her.
It happens. And honestly, when there's other people on the stream, they can take a look at it. One of my friends, she accidentally blocked somebody who watches my show a lot, and I caught it, and I was like, okay, I'll just unblock them. So that's why you need more than one moderator, and you kind of do it as a team. So somebody might make a mistake, but that's fine.
No one blocks faster than Val. Yeah, that is true. On Night Watch Zone, yeah, that is very, very true. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna tell you, you guys should check out Gory on Craven's channel. She did Stu Mocker versus the People, and she did such an amazing job on there.
Gory B Weathers.
Yes, and she did such an amazing job on there.
Thank you.
And everybody on the channel, Jake did an amazing job. I don't know the guy in the beard. I don't know who he is.
That's Eric, Bearded Entertainment, and I became friends with a lot of people I did that project with. So Craven will be on my Halloween streams. Night will be. Also, Jack Stannis is going to do some of them. We became friends with that. And Destin, he'll be us my
Dustin, I know couldn't be there, so Jake stepped in.
He just did Halloween Kills with me. Destin did.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Dustin. He's actually live now. I think he
might still be live. Destin's great. He's really cool.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say was you did an amazing job, and everybody on that show did an amazing job.
Craven and Steven had us like rehearse and research, and so hopefully I'm glad it turned out well. I really wanted him to be happy with it.
And that was just like an amazing night. I was in the chat, but I just wasn't chatting until
I do try to, when I'm invited to a stream, I try to dress up and stuff, and I wear a werewolf shirt. But yeah, I bought a whole outfit for that stream.
Yeah, you did. You looked so different. I was like, wait, that's Gory? What?
My mom didn't get it. She's like, what are you trying to look like? And I'm like, it's a cosplay of Scream 3, but she didn't know what that was. So
it's okay. A lot of people don't know what cosplay is.
She knows Scream 1, but I don't think she really remembered Scream 3. So she's like, what's going on with your hair? Why are your bangs like that? I'm just like, it's intentional, Mom.
Oh, I could go on. I could rant on a video on Gail's bangs in that movie. They were so
feel bad because it was David Arquette's idea that she get like Betty Page bangs, but Betty Page bangs, I mean, kind of like this. They're a little bit shorter and they go up on the sides. That's not what they gave her. They gave her baby bangs, which are kind of like these.
Yeah.
And some people, I think, can pull them off, but they're really hard. I think really short bangs like that are really hard to pull off.
I can't pull them off.
I did not pull them off. That was the joke. So
I look really bad with bangs, so I never have bangs. I tell them
I love bangs.
I tell them nope. Put my bangs as long as my hair when I get it cut.
I have a very big head, so It
Right,
helps.
that's okay.
Make my head smaller.
But yeah, so you guys did an amazing job over there. And then the other night, I caught tail end of Brandon and Dustin on your channel. I Like Scary, and Dustin
Yeah, they were great.
was on your channel. That was awesome too to see.
I also had a great one with Night where we talked about the history of like black horror movies. We're doing more of those. We did that with Monty. That was good. And I had Craven on, and we did one where we talked about our favorite Scream killers, which was good.
Courtney Cox is from where I live. Oh, that's awesome.
You know what's really funny about Courtney Cox is she has a kind of a condition where she has really bad memory. She doesn't remember filming any of the Friends episodes or the original Scream.
Oh, wow.
She doesn't remember anything about it.
That's crazy. Oh, did you watch that HBO Max special where the Friends came back?
I didn't see that. It was just an article I read.
It was kind of cool to relive Friends. I love that show.
I think it's a really fun one to rewatch.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I have bangs. I like bangs.
In the late 80s, I had bangs and had long hair until early 2000s. Oh, wow, Charles. I can't imagine you with that.
I think that'd be cool to see.
Must do something in water. I can't remember shit either. It's
Does
okay.
she remember Masters? Probably not, Danny.
Does she remember Monsters of the Universe? I don't even know. Was she in that?
Yeah, she was. She had a small part. Actually, the first thing that kind of was her big claim to fame was she was in a Bruce Springsteen video. And she's just, I mean, she's still gorgeous, but especially when she was young, you know, she had that dark hair, those bright blue eyes, and she's in a music video where Bruce Springsteen pulls her up onto the stage, and that was kind of what catapulted her to fame.
Oh, wow.
And then she had small parts in things like Masters of the Universe, but then Friends was what really took off for her. And same thing for Jennifer Aniston's, too.
Right.
When they did Leprechaun, I actually did all the gory details in Leprechaun. They wanted a girl who had like that blonde California girl look. You know, they wanted that real blonde California girl look. And so they didn't want Jennifer Aniston because she had brown hair.
Yeah.
And the director, Mark Jones, was like, no, there's something really special about her. And everyone who worked on the movie said that she had like this kind of spark. She had something really special about her, and they really wanted her. And so finally, Mark Jones was like, "Okay, fine, I will have her bleach her hair." He says, "I'll have her bleach her hair," and he never did it, but it was the right move. And honestly, she does say she's a little embarrassed about Leprechaun, but Leprechaun helped get her in front of a lot of people's attention because that movie did make a lot of money. It got in front of a lot of faces, and then she got Friends not too long after.
Right. Yeah. And I think I've read somewhere that she doesn't even say the Leprechaun is her movie. She like doesn't acknowledge it.
She, you know, it pissed off Warwick Davis for a long time because he said never discount your roots. Right. And like she dated somebody for a while there, and like it came on TV, and she was so embarrassed. But she said, "I'm embarrassed because like she was really young." She had like her, you know, a different nose and stuff then. She was young. She felt like she was inexperienced. It wasn't the movie so much, just the fact like it's like looking at your baby photos or something. It's just hard for her.
Right.
But she says she respects where she came from, and she still talks to Mark Jones apparently too. So, you know, and like her first movie was a small part in Mac and Me, which is even more embarrassing.
I've seen Mac and Me. It's on Tubi. If y'all haven't seen
in the background, she's one of the uncredited dancers.
If y'all haven't seen Mac and Me, it's a fun watch. It's a weird movie, but
it's weird.
It's on Tubi. You can watch it for free on Tubi.
So yeah, you know, I mean, I understand how, but she also does say that Leprechaun, she's embarrassed about it because she was so young, but she's like, that was the first big movie she did, and she felt like she had finally made it. She was given a chance to do something. Right. And it's one of the few movies where they take somebody who becomes famous later on and they put them on the poster, but she is the main character in that. So it doesn't feel false.
Don't knock it until you rock it. Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger were
both of them were. And people also criticize that, putting them on the poster, but they're main characters in that. So I don't think it's a big deal. I also loved Renee Zellweger in Empire Records kind of before she became a big deal when she was in Jerry Maguire. But they tried to bury that movie.
And then he sang the Ghoulies. I haven't seen the Ghoulies.
I love Ghoulies. So we want some deep cuts. Oh, I can tell you so many before they were famous.
I'm not sure if I saw
Matthew Lillard has a itty bitty part in Ghoulies 3. Meg Ryan is in Amityville 3. One I love to mention is Ryan Reynolds is in a movie called Boltnik, which is like a Frankenstein movie. But yeah, if you want to hear some before they were famous movies, I've got a list for you.
Oh, you should do something like that. I know. You should do something like that on your channel.
One of Jack Black's first movies was I Still Know What You Did Last Summer before he became famous.
I didn't know that.
He's like a Rastafari guy.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that was him. You know.
I got a list a mile long.
That's awesome. You know.
If you follow me on Letterboxd, one of my favorite things to do is make lists. And I do have a list.
Yeah, I have you on Letterboxd.
So if you get bored, look at some of my lists.
Mac and Me was awesome and violent. Kissed in the wheelchair, falls off a cliff and explodes, but the aliens bring him back to life. Yeah, that was
yes. Neon Black Reviews mentioned that Charlize Theron is in one of the extras in Children of the Corn 3. Also, Nicholas Brendan, who played Xander in Buffy, is one of them as well. I love Children of the Corn 3. It's got effects by Scream Mad George, and he's incredible.
I hope you're doing well, Brett. I hope your day of filming went well, because he's doing a fan film of Michael Myers.
That's awesome. And yeah, Jack Black was a bully in Neverending Story 3.
Yeah, he was. I didn't know that she was in that movie. I like Children of the Corn. Yeah, have you heard of this movie on Tubi? It's called Shark of the Corn.
I did see that one. It's really goofy. My favorite part was the surprise where Sasquatch shows up at the end and he's like, yes. Have a bomb, bitch. That actually made me laugh.
It was a bloody good time. Well, that's good, Brett. I'm glad.
That's awesome, Brett. I follow Brett, so I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, he's doing a fan film of Michael Myers. I can't wait to
yeah, I've heard about that.
To watch it when he's done with it.
I'm excited. I think when people are passionate about something and they go to create something to add to that mythology, I think it's really special. So
have you seen Ouija Shark on Tubi yet?
I have not. I actually just rented Sharkula, which is like a Dracula shark, but kind of in the same line. I mean, my favorite fandom obviously is Buffy. And one of my favorite authors, Kennard Blake, just made a new Slayer book. So yeah, I think it's awesome.
Ouija Shark's a Wild Eye movie. So it's a Bright Kelly movie. So Wild Eye is
it like, okay, but is it Shark Exorcist Wild Eye or Cat Sick Blues Wild Eye? Because there is a difference.
Here, I'll show you what it looks like.
I mean, you have to admit, there's a difference in quality of Wild Eye movies. There's The Bulk, and then there's other ones that are kind of good.
Here's Ouija Shark.
People are really passionate about their Wild Eye movies. My friend Rich Movie Massacre absolutely hates them, but I think some of them are pretty good.
I like some of them.
Shark Exorcist was terrible.
What was that?
Shark Exorcist?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I haven't seen Cat Sick Blues, but I heard it's really good.
I haven't seen that either.
I can't remember which one it was. Which one did I like? Wild Eye movies. There was one I really liked. What was it? I'm gonna look it up.
Mickey Rourke was a bully in Fate to Black. I haven't seen that one.
I'm looking at it now. Cruel Summer was really good. That's a Wild Eye movie.
I haven't seen that one. Why are there so many no budget shark movies? I don't know.
They talk about this a lot, and to me, it makes sense that there are no budget zombie movies because zombie movies are so easy to make. I'm going to be in a movie soon where I'm a zombie nun. Zombies are really easy to create, but sharks, like, come on, Jaws had a hard time getting the special effects right, and that movie had a massive budget. Sharks are really hard to do right. So why do so many direct-to-video movies go with sharks? I don't get it.
I don't either.
It makes no sense to me. They're hard to do well.
I don't know. I don't know why they do that.
I'm
Bad
looking up
CGI
the
sharks.
Wild Eye movies, tell you the ones I like. Model Hunger was okay. Demon Hunter was okay. It's kind of Buffy-ish. I liked. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life is Amityville Exorcism. That movie was
I
terrible.
could show you. I got a whole box of Wild Eye. Hold on. I'll show you.
I liked the Neon Dead. Hated Shark Exorcist. Why do you have a box of Wild? Oh, I have Queen Crab.
Children.
Why do you have a box of Wild Eye movies? I hear they like send people the movies for free if they like follow them on Twitter or something.
They sent it to me for free. Got a box of them. This whole box of Wild Eye movies right here.
They sent it to you for free?
Yeah.
Did you have to review them?
Yeah, I wrote into them.
Wow.
Children of the Living Dead was pretty low budget, so I have.
Oh, let's see what you got. Is that good?
Don't Look. It kind of looks like The Purge or something. So that's the back of it.
So what got you into Wild Eye movies? I've heard there's like kind of an obsessive fan base of Wild Eye on Twitter.
Hobbs and Bones and all them and Charles, they do Wild Eye movies. And so they told me I should review some of them.
My friend Rich from Movie Massacre does a few of them, but he's not a big fan.
Some of them are all right. Breaking Spirits.
But I like Neon Dead. That was a good one.
I like Neon Dead. I've seen that one. I reviewed that one for Wild Eye Wednesday.
Catfish Blues is really good, but I haven't seen it.
You okay?
Jurassic Shark. That looks terrible.
This one is the second one I have the first one as well. This is the second one.
Okay, so I'm gonna consider you my Wild Eye expert. What Wild Eye movies do you recommend?
I have this one. So I recommend you watch here goes Jurassic Shark. Watch. I could actually give you. Is
that a good one?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
I liked it. But a lot of people don't like this one, but I liked it.
I didn't like Shark Exorcist though.
This is a Brett Kelly movie. This is different.
Is it better than Shark Exorcist?
Yeah, I liked it better. So this one is basically an oil rig unleashes the parasite, which is this monster, and this actually looks like a shark. And so basically it's like they're like on an island, and these people, these teenagers have to team up with these people, like these thieves, because they stole something, and the shark is around them and stuff like that, and that's basically what it is. I haven't watched the other one, and then I have this one. This one looks interesting.
That does look. I like the cover art.
I haven't watched it yet, but it looks interesting. But I can't watch anything right now. I have to watch all the Wild Eye.
I thought Model Hunger was good too. I like who was that? I think it was.
And then this one looks interesting too.
Yeah, that looks good.
This one's like
movies are so hard to make. So I'm pretty forgiving of budgets a lot of time. I watch a lot of Raven Banner and other kind of low budget movies. So.
Mm-hmm. So I've only seen a couple Wild Eye movies. What did I seen? What did I watch? Hold on, I have to go on my channel. I know you just finished a stream, I think. Sorry, I was only in the chat for like a little while. I had to hop on here. So let me see. Oh wait, wrong thing.
Pardon me. I did not sleep last night, so I've been trying to fix my sleep schedule by staying up for 24 hours.
You're gonna stay up for 24 hours?
That's what I'm doing. It's been over 24 hours now. So when I'm done with this, I'm gonna crash. And I'm gonna take my son to Comic-Con tomorrow.
What time are you guys going?
Early, because he needs to be there by 11. It's a 3-hour drive, so.
Oh yeah, you better get some sleep tonight. Okay, so
But I'm excited because my son is very shy, but his one thing he's passionate about is Scooby-Doo. So,
oh nice. So
he'll get
I
to
reviewed Jurassic Shark, which is Wild Eye. What else?
I'll have to watch that in your show because I didn't watch any of your Wild Eye reviews. I've watched a lot of your videos.
Neon Demon.
I liked Neon Demon. I liked your review of that one.
House of Salem.
I didn't see that one.
That one was really good.
Neon Demon was good though. I thought that was good.
Bigfoot versus Zombie. That's a Wild Eye that I did. And Heidi. Those are the only Wild Eyes that I've done so far. And then the Velocipaster. I did that one too.
Oh my gosh, I love Velocipaster. Is that Wild Eye?
Yes.
I love the Velocipaster. That's so fun.
I liked that one too. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people did not like that one.
I thought it was fun.
I did too. So I wrote into Wild Eye to get them, but right now I can't view them.
No, I'm thinking, Katie, you need to come up to Washington. We need to do that Twilight Forks tour.
Yeah, we will.
You got a buddy up here now, so you got me. So
yeah, and my sister-in-law. So we could get my sister-in-law, you, me, and we'll go. And
Danny will be a good time. And I can show you all around. There's also the location where they filmed Harry and the Hendersons, so we can do a bit of Sasquatch watching.
Yeah, that would be fun.
And the whole rainforest.
And we could vlog it all, and then I'll put it on my YouTube.
That sounds amazing. So definitely, if you ever come my way, let me know. And you've got friends here, you've got places to stay. So let me know.
I want to go to the restaurant on the Space Needle.
Absolutely. I've been to the Space Needle. I've never eaten in the restaurant. I have had a beer up there, but
I love beer. So
there's also a cool troll statue underneath one of the bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Hiccups.
I'll go drink with you guys. I'll go to the bar at the beer.
Yeah, if you ever come to Washington, let me know and I'll show you all around all the cool stuff.
I've never been.
What's really cool? So we have a kind of an urban legend around these parts. I went to college in Ellensburg, and there's a place called Mel's Hole, which is kind of like
boys in their pop.
Huh?
Was saying
like if you throw animals in there, they come back from the dead, and apparently it moves and stuff. But there's some really cool stuff up here in Washington.
Actually, the town that I live in New York, it's a really small town, and there was a battle, and so there's a lot of haunted places here, and there's do you know the Titanic, right?
Yes.
So the Titanic.
Apparently, I had relatives in that.
Excuse me. There's actually a story about the Titanic here as well. And they have ghost tours here.
That's awesome. Yeah, in Seattle, you kind of know it's like in that movie Demolition Man, how there it's a whole city underground. Old Seattle, there's a big fire, and so they do tours of like this whole city that's underground. It's insane.
Oh wow. Sounds like really the lost land of Atlantis or something.
It's awesome. Yeah, Mel's Hole. They talk about that in Coast to Coast with Art Bell. But it's crazy. I went to college there.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. But yeah, so the small town that I live in, there was a battle. It's called the Battle of Plattsburgh. So there was a battle here, like the war and stuff like that. And a lot of these homes that are here were built in the 1800s.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seattle Underground. Actually, Echo lives in Seattle.
That's so cool. I'm nearby. I'm in Wenatchee, but I go to Seattle a lot. I'm going to Seattle tomorrow, Echo, to take my son to Emerald City Comic Con.
The Seattles were killed for the
Yukon Gold in Old Seattle.
Interesting. Yeah. I've never been to Seattle. The furthest north I've been is New York.
Well, if you come up this way, you have some Pacific Coast friends. So
yes, and I will definitely come hang out.
You can always stay at my place.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys, I think we're gonna get off here because Gory has to get up
3 hours, and I'm starting to yawn, and I feel bad.
And guys, go check out her channel, and remember on Sunday she's doing
Fight Night.
Fright Night. Go, it's slashers. So what time is that on?
My streams are usually always at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're on the East Coast, that's 10 p.m.
Yes. So you guys go. I used to live near Seattle. Now I live in.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I live in Wenatchee, so I live in Chelan County.
And Michael's saying
Nice meeting you,
meeting you.
Michael.
And you guys go. Remember, I'm gonna give this cup away if I get
I
500
kind of want that cup, dude.
subscribers. So guys,
How do I get this cup again?
What?
How do we get this cup?
So go comment on the video, the 500 subscriber giveaway video. All you have to do is just comment on it, and I'm gonna put your name in the hat, and I'm gonna draw on my 1 year anniversary. So by October 15th, that will be my 1 year YouTube anniversary. So I'm trying to get 500 subscribers between now and then. And you guys will get this cup if on that live stream I'm going to pull everybody's name out of a hat or whatever I have, or a cup, and I'm going to pull their name out. I'm going to write everybody's name down that has commented on the video, and they will get a chance to win this and a couple other goodies.
That's
it's
awesome.
A Beetlejuice mug.
Congratulations on your milestone. It's really awesome.
I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm trying. I'm at 300.
You're almost there. You're going to get it, Katie.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Love you all. Bye, everybody.